Ini saya suka.
हेलो, म्यूजिक बंद करो। हेलो 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 हेलो।
Hello. Thank you. May I have your kind attention, please? नमस्कार देवियों सचिव। अर्थशास्त्र की समझ भी व्यक्ति को रंग से राजा बना सकती है, और अगर आपने शास्त्र को समझने में कहीं गलती तब यही अर्थशास्त्र आप राजा से राज भी बना सकता है। इतिहास बात का चश्मदीद गवाह है कि तकरीबन 1350 साल पूर्व एक अर्थशास्त्री मगध राज्य के वंशई और लालची राजा का शासन का खेड़ फेंका। और यही अर्थशास्त्री गुरु चाणक्य अपनी अर्थव्यवस्था कौशल के दम पर बालक चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य को चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य बना दिया था और मौर्य चक्रवर्ती स्थापना की। दोस्तों भारतवर्ष की यह चाणक्य कई महान अर्थशास्त्री पैदा वह भूमि है जहां धन की पूजा मां लक्ष्मी के रूप में होती है। आज हम गर्व के साथ कह सकते हैं कि अर्थ हमारी रगों में खून के दौड़ता है। आज की शाम हम एक बार फिर करने अपने महान पुरखों की तरह अर्थशास्त्र को गंभीरता से लेते हैं। Respected Chairman, Sardar Campus, managed by Tirupati Foundation Trust, Patel sir, respected Secretary, Patel Education Campus, Shri Seetal Patel, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University, and our guest, Professor Dr. Shri Kulkarni, our esteemed panel members, CNA and Kothari sir, I beg your pardon sir, Dr. S.S. Kamalkar sir, Shri Hardik Joshi, Dr. Raju Rathod sir, Dr. Jariwala sir, Director of Patel College of Administration and Management, and Conclave Director, Dr. Nirup Trivedi sir, Conclave Coordinator, Dr. Ashish Bora sir, Principals, Directors of PG departments, college institutions, invite and Cell Education Assembly. Ladies and I, Dr. Kalpesh Gohil, heartily welcome you all in this conclave named Budget Manthan 2022. This offline and online conclave has been organized by Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, Sardar Patel Education Campus, with a view to discuss and debate the major areas of the Indian Budget 2022. Our college wishes to develop a holistic understanding of the outcomes of the Budget 2022 and their impact on various sectors. दोस्तों, ठंड से इस पवन का जोर चल रहा है, ठंड से इस पवन का जोर चल रहा है, देश में युवाओं का दौर चल रहा है। गौर फरमाइएगा, ठंड से इस पवन का जोर चल रहा है, देश में युवाओं का दौर चल रहा है सबको इंतजार बेसब्री से है, सब इंतजार से स्पेक में बजट मंथन का शोर चल रहा है। किसी भी देश का दशा और दिशा तय करता है भारत ये साल 2022 का बजट बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बजट। भारत सरकार पिछले कई वर्षों से कहती आ रही है कि 2022 तक न्यू इंडिया बने। कहा गया था कि हर भारतीय को घर 2022 तक हर घर में पानी पहुंचेगा 2022 तक, हर गांव में 24/7 मिलेगी 2022 तक, फार्मर्स की आमदनी डबल हो जाएगी 2022। दोस्त इसका साल आ गया है और बजट भी अनाउंस हो चुका है। तो चलिए आज की हम हमारे पैनल मेंबर्स से यह जानेंगे कि हमारे कितने सपने हकीकत में बदलेंगे। फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री कहती है कि इस साल का बजट करता है इंडिया के लिए अगले साल का ब्लूप्रिंट, जो एक बहुत बड़ी बात है। और जब हम आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं, तब हम शाम बजट मंथन करना चाहते हैं और देखते हैं कि इसमें से कितना अमृत और कितना विष। इस मौके पर स्वर्गीय डॉक्टर राहत इंदौरी साहब की 2 लाइनें पेश करूं। आज के हमारे पैनल मेंबर्स बजट 2022 पर गौर फरमाते हुए मन ही मन में बोल रहे होंगे कि गुलाब, खाब, दवा, जहर, जाम क्या क्या है। गुलाब, ख्वाब, दवा, जहर, जाम क्या क्या है। मैं आ गया हूं, बता इंतजाम क्या क्या है। लेट अस नाउ मूव फर्दर विद द प्रोग्राम। आदिकाल से अग्निदेव मनुष्य जीवन को सहारा देते आए। अग्निदेव हमारे जीवन को प्रज्वलित करते हैं और यह शरीर अंततः अग्नि में ही विलीन हो जाता है। तो चलिए आज हम आस्था, श्रद्धा और आशा का दिया जलाकर परमात्मा से यह प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनकी कृपा दृष्टि हम पर हर वक्त बनी रहे। मैं सभी डिग्नेटरीज से निवेदन करता हूं कि वे दीप प्रागट्य के लिए आगे आए।
कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्न
John Milton, one of the greatest writers of English literature that world has ever witnessed, prayed to the Almighty God and sought his blessings before writing his masterpiece, Paradise Lost. Likewise, when we have assembled here today evening, let us pray together for the scintillating success of this event. I request Ms. Kritika Prasad, a student of BBA Semester 4, to offer Ganesh Vandana in form of a prayer dance. Ms. Kritika Prasad.
पूर्वी पूर्वी प्रेम कृपा जयाची सर्वांगी सुंदर पिशेंदुराची कंठी सरके माल मुक्त फळाची जय देव जय देव
पुकारो मैं साथ तेरा बस चाहूं मैं
जय देव देवा हो देवा गणेशा लंबोदर गणेशा ओम नम गणपते नमः देवा हो देवा गणेशा लंबोदर गणेशा ओम नम गणपते नमः सुख करता दुख हरता बांधता विघ्नाची पूर्वी पूर्वी प्रेम कृपा जयाची सर्वांगी सुंदर पिशेंदुराची कंठी सारखी माल भक्त फळाची जय देव जय देव हा सुख कर
Thank you, Kritika, for such an invigorating performance. May I now invite all the dignitaries on the stage, please? May I now invite Shri Sheetal Patel sir, Professor Dr. Shri Kulkarni sir, our panel members, Dr. Nirav Trivedi sir, and Dr. Ashish Vora sir, to please come on the stage. Thank you, everyone. May I now request the energetic, dynamic, and beloved Director of Sardar of Administrative Management and Conclave Director, Dr. Nirav Trivedi sir, to say on this occasion. Dr. Nirav Trivedi sir.
Good evening, everyone. Jai Sri Swaminarayan. Respected Chairman, Sardar Patel Education Campus, Shri Girish Patel sir. Secretary, Sardar Patel Education Campus, Shri Sheetal sir. Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University, and our Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Shri Kulkarni sir. Our renowned panel members, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all in this conclave named Budget Manthan 2022, organized by Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management. Sardar Patel Education Campus and Patel College of Admin and Management always aspire to discover our students' potential, talents, skills, and ideas to a higher level of productivity and employability. And to do so, personally believe teachers need to be upskilled and updated. Needless to say, efficient teachers create excellent learning opportunities and produce highly skilled students. With a view to this, Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, being educational leader of Charutar area, decided to come up with this conclave budget Manthan 2022. We aim to learn from the experts in the field, researchers, individuals, and people that have assembled today evening. I hope and wish learning will take place today, and we shall enjoy this academic exchange of ideas on Budget 2022. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to this conclave. Let us make this evening memorable for all of us. Once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Moving further, I would like to invite Conclave Coordinator and Assistant Professor in Economics, Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, Dr. Ashish Vora sir, to introduce the ins, outs, and outs of the Conclave Budget Marathon 2022. Dr. Ashish Vora.
Good evening, one and all present here. Budget is a meant that helps translate policies into concrete actions and desired outcomes. It is blueprint for converting intent into reality. Like any tool, it needs continuous refinement. The budgetary practices in India have, however, largely remained unchanged over the years. A few innovations, such as the performance budgeting introduced in years. Good evening, all the dignitaries on the dais of the dais. The conclave on budget is a get together for intellectuals, people from industry, faculty of economics, civil society, research, public authority, and other social sciences disciplines, including management, to critically think for the ways and means for a pragmatic approach towards the union budget. The conclave goal is to gain view on how this unit presented by Finance Minister Ms. Raman has impacted and many impact the various aspects of the Indian economy and its stakeholders. With numerous conclaves being organized every other day across India, there is a growing sense of curiosity to know different aspects that may define such conclave summits importance and choose to underline how this conclave is facilitating things in various ways and sometimes even inexplored to perennial problems. Part of endeavor, the conclave is actually to understand, highlight, and discuss any set of issues that influence sector in various dimensions, taxation, industry, agriculture sectors. This conclave is created as platform for deliberation, argument, or thought upcoming or existing challenges and their possible solutions, and vital outlets to this dialogue among all key stakeholders of a mission or contributors giving shared vision. At a time when India is on way to be a leader in various sectors, this kind of conclaves can support the nation in its efforts in countless ways. But now, let's look at the Indian industry, agriculture, service, and taxation sector and scope of such conclave in plaguing the way for a big transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let us proceed. Let us proceed further with the program. तारीफ अपने आप की करना फिजूल है. तारीफ अपने आप फिजूल है क्योंकि खुशबू बता देती है कौन सा फूल है. Flowers spread aroma, respect and love. Let us welcome our esteemed invited guests with flowers. दोस्तों, सूरज ढलने पर शाम हो सकती है. सूरज ढलने पर शाम हो सकती है. वो शाम कहीं गुमनाम हो सकती है जब मेहमान ही हमारे इतने खास. जब मेहमान ही है हमारे इतने खास, भला ये शाम भी क्या आम हो सकती है. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our today's chief guest, Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University, Professor Dr. Suresh Kulkarni sir. Sir is a PhD from Sardar Patel University. He is also an MPhil and LLB from Sardar Patel University. Sir has his specialization in commerce, accounting, and financial management taxation. He possesses more than 35 teaching experience, and he has research experience 20 years. He has successfully PhD students, published 8 books, 5 articles, research papers. He has worked as a resource person in the area of accounting, finance, and at UGC, HRDC, at universities out of Gujarat, at Gujarat Research Institute, and the training national academics excise narcotics for the employees of central government for 4 years. Sir has served as a president in Accounting Association Gujarat Director Central of Lifelong Learning and Extension. Sir has also as a member of core of academic committees for CBCS government convener curriculum development committee for the undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Sir has also member of implementation of National Education Policy 2020 Government of Gujarat. Sir, to have you with us today evening. I would like to invite the Secretary of Sardar Patel Education Campus, Seetal Patel sir, to welcome and present flowers to Dr. Shiva's Kulkarni sir. Thank you. Gentlemen, we are fortunate to have Shri with us. Shri Sheetal is the Secretary of Sardar Patient Campus, managed by Tirupati Foundation. He is an MBA with specialization in finance. He founded Sardar Patel Education Campus under Tirupati Foundation Trust in 2007. Under his leadership and progressive vision, Sardar Patel Education Campus had touched new heights in of education today. He has personality of being cool and calm, but he is a keen observer. He is also involved actively and actively in the field of construction. Sir started Money Charitable Trust in the year 2020, and under the aegis of the many social charitable activities take shape in various fields. Shri Sheetal Patel sir is a multifaceted personality with involvement activities, vision, and in a true sense, he is a leader with futuristic. May I invite the Director of Sardar Administration and Management, Dr. Nirav sir, to welcome Shri Sheetal with flowers. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, all of our members are renowned scholars in their respective fields, and all of them have got rich city. Allow me to introduce our panel members in brief. To begin with, today we have with us CA Nayan Kothari sir, as one of the panel members. Sir is a postgraduate of Commerce from the MS University of Baroda and a fellow Institute of Chartered of India. He has also completed post-station certificate courses CAI, namely auditing, detection, and certificate course concurrent of banks. He is a practicing accountant based at Baroda since 2000. He is a Manoj Vidin and Company chartered accountants. Area of practice include internal statutory audit, SMEs, and corporate consultancy in the area of investigation and forensic auditing, restructuring and corporate planning. Also being He's also doing consultancy in the areas of direct and indirect administration and company law matters. Sir was a managing director of Baroda branch of WIRC of ICAI for 8 years and presently past chairman of Baroda branch of WI of ICAI. He has held positions of vice chairman, secretary, treasurer of Baroda branch of ICAI and chairman of Baroda WICASA. Sir was voted member of the Research Committee of ICAI New Delhi year 2021-22. He was also co-opted member of Banking Insurance and Position Committee, Editorial Committee, exposed draft WIRC of ICAI. He is visiting faculty at the various institutes, B schools, and HR schools. He regularly contributes in newsletters, Baroda branch, and various professional journals. He also writes a weekly column on management in Sandesh of the leading Gujarati newspapers. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us today evening. I would request the Director of MBA, Sardar College of Administration and Management, Dr. Vishal Patidar, to welcome CA Hari sir of flowers. Thank you, sir. We also have Dr. S. Kamal Kalsa with us as one of members. Dr. Kamal Kalsa has been working and professor economic research of the agriculture and farmers welfare government Sardar Patel University since July 2012. Before joining agroeconomic center, sir has served as politics and economics at University Pune and ICAR National Bureau of Soil Survey and Land Use Planning, Nagpur. made important and useful contributions to the subject of economics. He has published more than 106 research papers, articles in reputed journals. Moreover, he has authored 13 books. Cited about 61 research projects, studies, mainly for the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, the Planning Commission, Government of India, Government of Gujarat, and NABARD, Mumbai, and DTP Anand. He has submitted notes on the topics of national importance as policy briefs and policy elites from time to time onto the Prime Minister's office, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare, Government of India, and others for consideration in policy formulations. Sir is the recipient of Sardar Research Award, Shri Dadabhai Navroji Prize, SOED Best Paper Award, and Professor V.S. Vyas Felicitation Award. Besides contribution in the research, Sir has also worked as a registrar officiating of GIPE deemed University Pune from 2007 to 2009 and registrar in charge of Sardar Patel University from March 2015 to April 2015. Sir, we are delighted to welcome you. I would like to request Principal of Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy, Dr. Kishore Dholwani, sir, to present a bouquet of flowers and welcome to Dr. S.S. Kamalkar, sir. Please give a big round of applause for our guest. Thank you, sir. Our next panel member is Shri Hardik Joshi, sir. Shri Hardik Joshi, sir, is a certified financial with more than 18 years of experience in financial services. Sir brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the business. Before founding Shri, sir has worked with various corporations. He believes in extensive customer service experience and is focused on working with the team to build strong client relationships. Sir oversees and directs the holistic financial advice and wealth strategies provided by Shri Advisory Services Private Limited. He is widely experienced in advising high-income individuals, professionals, and business owners with extensive corporate and tax structures knowledge. Sir is a specialist of investment planning, debt management, releasing company profits, and borrowing through SUPA. He also provides individually tailored solutions for investment and risk management, protected equities, property advice, retirement planning, superannuation, and estate planning. His articles are published regularly in newspapers and financial magazines. He is a very good speaker and conducts financial planning seminar to various corporate organizations, NGOs, and colleges. Sir, we heartily welcome you on this occasion. I would like to request Principal Sardar Patel College of Commerce, Dr. K.B. Rao, sir, to present a bouquet of flowers to Shri Hardik Joshi, sir. Please give him a big hand, sir. Thank you, sir. We also have Dr. Raju Rathod, sir, as one of our panel members. Dr. Raju Rathod, sir, is a professor at MBA Department, Sardar Patel University. Sir possesses 20 years of teaching experience at postgraduate level. He is a national trainer of Junior Chamber International and a certified trainer of National Skills Development Council's Government of India. Sir is an MBA gold medalist and UGC NET qualified. He has completed 2 UGC, 3 Government of Gujarat research projects. He has published 5 books and 55 research papers and conducted more than 200 training sessions. He has served as president of JCI Vallabh Vidyanagar, Lions Club, and Indian Society for Training and Development. Moreover, Sir has been serving as a president of Sardar Patel University Teachers Association. Sir has successfully guided 13 PhD research scholars and 17 MPhil students so far. Sir, your presence means a lot to us this evening. May I request Principal Sardar Patel College of Education, Dr. Prashant Kasara, sir, to welcome and present a bouquet of flowers to Dr. Raju Rathod, sir. Big hand. Moving ahead, I would like to introduce our fifth panel member to you, Dr. Vijay Jariwala sir. Dr. Vijay Jariwala sir has been working as an assistant professor of economics in the postgraduate department of economics at Sardar Patel University since 2016. Sir teaches the subjects of macroeconomics, rural development, research methodology, and quantitative techniques. Sir possesses rich experience of teaching at undergraduate and postgraduate level. He has been awarded with gold medal from the hands of sorry. He has been awarded with the gold medal from the hands of the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, in the year 2003 for being stood first in economics. Sir has got many research publications in reputed journals. Sir has worked as statistical technical research assistant in UNICEF sponsored in collaboration with Vasudhara Dairy Project on child-related healthcare plan from 2005 to 2008. Sir has also worked as co-principal for Gujarat government-sponsored project on Vatan Seva in collaboration with MK Bhavnagar University. I would like to invite Principal, Sardar Patel Institute of Applied Science, Dr. R.S. Patel sir, to welcome and present a bouquet of flowers to Dr. Vijay Jariwala sir. Thank you, sir. May I now request Overlord in charge of Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Sri Jai Patel sir, to welcome and present a bouquet of flowers to the young and dynamic and our beloved Director of Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management and Conclave Director, Dr. Nirav Trivedi sir. Please give him a big hand, sir. Thank you, sir. I request Assistant Professor of Sardar Patel College of Commerce, Dr. Sarfaraz Mansoori sir, to welcome and present flowers to our Conclave Coordinator and Assistant Professor in Economics, Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, Dr. Ashish Bora sir. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to today's chief guest. May I take this opportunity to invite Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University, Professor Shri Kulkarni sir, to make his speech and bless the. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give him a big hand for our chief guest, Kulkarni sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening to all of you, dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, teachers, friends, students, and the listeners. Whenever the budget is announced in the Lok Sabha, normally the people are agitated. I'm using the word agitated, that what will happen. But if a person from finance, I would like to say that my home is India. At my home, I also make a budget. Because on one hand, I have the earnings. And on the other hand, I have expenses. So whenever there is a deficit or there is a surplus, I analyze that. I'm saying again, my home. At my home, I analyze that what are my income sources and what are the expenses. I just analyze it, compare it for earlier years, and then decide that what should be my next month, as I'm a salaried employee. So I will consider what's next month. That's how the budget we are preparing. Is it not the same for India? Ultimately, whether it is a nation when I'm calling at my home is India, the same thing. So what are the income sources of the country? And where are the places where the country is making the expenses? Therefore, the date of budget, before one day, you get economic survey of India. Every year. What is that economic survey of India? It's nothing but what has happened in the earlier year. What were the incomes and what are the expenses? So based on which the proposed budget, proposed income, proposed expenditure are there spelled out by our finance minister. That's what is the budget. Normally the income sources for a country is a taxes. The highest income source of the country is the taxes. And normally what happens? Who makes the payment of tax? The individual, the corporate. The moment budget is announced, everybody is worried that whether the taxes has been reduced or not. On one hand, individual or corporate or business houses consider that in which areas the taxes are reduced. See the contradiction. And on the other side, individual, corporate, business house, society, everybody wants that government should spend more and more on their welfare. Look at the contradiction. We want that taxes should be reduced and government should increase the expenses. How could it happen? But that's what is the individual's behavior, psychology, emotions, whatnot. Now, if we take a consideration of the taxes, there are two types of taxes. One is a direct tax. And in that case, the direct tax, we have got income tax for individuals. And second, anyway, my voice is audible at the end of the bench.
Sir. I need chal.
Okay, Vandana, chal sir.
Hello. Hello.
I think I am audible. So one thing that is the direct taxes, what I have stated, a individual personal income tax. That what an individual is earning either from salary or any other source, he earns on which he has to make the payment of tax. As per the slabs, how much income he earns normally, up to 2,50,000 per annum income, no income tax is to be paid. That's what we have understood. Then comes the corporate tax, the companies, the business enterprises. They are also paying the income tax, but that name is not called as an income tax, but it is called as an corporate tax. This is, I'm talking about the direct taxes. One, income tax. Second, the corporate tax. The another tax is indirect taxes. That indirect tax is not paid by us directly to the government, which is being paid corporate and the individual income tax. This indirect taxes we are paying to the government through the dealers. That is, when we are purchasing something, at that time we are making payment of taxes to the dealer and that dealer will make the payment to the government. That's why it is called as an indirect taxes. Earlier, before 2017, the taxes were the central excise, the service tax, the customs,
sales tax, value added tax, etc., etc. But from July 2017, the taxes, 17 number of taxes are clubbed in one name, which is called as an GST. And you would have seen, while listening to the budget from Nirmala Sitharaman, at the time of giving the speech, she said that it is not in my speech. But still she took up one paper and said, look at the GST collection of this month, that is earlier month, 1.40 lakh crores of rupees the GST has been collected by the government. So these are the direct and indirect taxes are collected and the expenses are there. In expenses also there are two types. One is the plan expenses and another is a non-plan.
So I am relaxed. Now that expenses, when we talk on plan expenses, normally they are the capital expenditures. Due to capital expenditure, the future income can be generated. That's what normally we understand in capital expenditure. Revenue expenditures are there, day-to-day expenditure, the salary is being paid by the government, state or central, etc., etc. So that expenses are there. These all points are going to be discussed by our panel members, so I am not going into that because they all are expert and they would be in a position to tell you something more in depth to you. So I am not going to touch that. But 2 points I would like to attract your attention. Rather, I am not attracting, you are already attracted by that 2 points. And one, unemployment, berojgari. Every time, whenever there is a budget, the discussion is always that, what is there in budget for unemployment? Is government, whether there is a this party government, that party government, or no party government. Every government is being asked that what you are done for employment. Are you going to generate the employment? Number one. And number two, every budget attracts this point. Mongwari nusu. What about the inflation, the rise in prices? Have you attended this particular question in the budget? That's what everybody wants. And obviously, when we are attending that, when some leaders, particularly the opposition leaders, when they are speaking on this, then we are just convinced that definitely this is correct, that the government has not attended this unemployment and the inflation, the price rise. We are not, the government is not bothered about it. I just put in one example, illustration to you. See, whenever there is a subtraction 10,000 from 10,000, answer is 0. Let's take 2 lakhs minus 2 lakhs, answer is 0. 2 crores minus 2 crores, answer is 0. Look at the situation. Whenever we talk to our forefathers, the grandfather, the father of a grandfather, what he will say? The pure ghee I was purchasing for 10 rupees per kg. And now look at what is the price of the pure ghee. Definitely more than 600. Jo ketli mongwari thi gayi. That is what is being stated. Then the question comes to my mind that when that 10 rupees per kg was the pure ghee, What was the salary at that time? Salary to the person or any profit earned by the business house was how much? The moment your salary increases, obviously the price rise will be there. So in case of this price rise, the inflation, we get the answer to this, that whether 2 crores minus 2 crore is 0, that happens. Now look at whether you or me, are we creating the wealth or are we transferring the wealth? Mind these words. Where one share is sold to someone other, what is it? Transfer of wealth. It is not a creation of wealth. What is important for the nation to progress? To add the income? If there is a creation of wealth. And that's why this government, particularly that startups, make in India, these all items are nothing but creation of wealth. And that creation of wealth always will improve the nation, not by stock market. The stock market, the moment you say Ukraine and Russia are going to fight, the market will collapse. I don't know what is the connection with that share of any company, but still it collapses. At the moment it's take today's event, I'm telling you, yesterday's event and today's event, today what has happened? There is a talk between the Germany Chancellor and Putin. They have said that no, there won't be now any war. Immediately it jumps. The share market goes up by 1700. I don't know. Is it creating any wealth? No. It's not creating any wealth.
So always for creation of wealth to improve the progress the nation. I just give you one more example. I don't know whether you have gone through this in the newspapers or not. Commercial paper has been sold financial institutions. Why it is so? Well, forget about NBFC, let's say you and me. If we are in the share market, if LIC IPO will be there, we will borrow the money to purchase the shares of the LIC. And the moment we get allotted the shares of LIC, once it is listed, let's say we purchased it for 400 under the IPO, and it listed for 700, immediately we will sell it off, and whatever money we have borrowed, that will make the payment. Shortcuts to earn the money. And mind it, shortcuts are always dangerous. This way or that way, the shortcuts are dangerous. Now coming to the employment. If you have gone through some newspapers or reading materials, why these all expert panels would definitely tell you, 10% of the employment is organized sector employment. Only 10%. May it be government, maybe a corporate, but organized sector has got employment. A total employment of India is 10%. Organized sector. Like let's say in our university we have got the contractual employment for 11 months. It's unorganized. So this type of employment takes place. When there is a ho-halla on unemployment, based on what? Employment exchange figures. If you are looking at the TV Delhi, where the Uttar Pradesh elections are there, Punjab elections are there, or Uttarakhand elections are there, the youngsters are saying,
हमारे पास जॉब कहाँ है, क्या करेंगे, पढ़ाई तो कर ली, अब क्या करेंगे? This is what is recorded in the employment exchange, and that figures are being picked up and stated that yes, look at the unemployment in the country. Do you feel any youngster will be really unemployed? Will he be idle sitting at the home? એના મા બાપ જ નહીં એને બેવા દે ઘરમાં કે ભાઈ જા કંઈક તો કર. So unemployment, when we are talking of the figures, that figures are recorded in the employment exchange. So that is not the reality. Really 90% of the employment is under unorganized sector, and that catch definitely. Now other things also can be talked on, the agriculture, etc., etc. I have talked about the capital expenditure also, but then definitely I would like to stop and let these panels will focus on particular figures, and they will discuss on these particular aspects once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs. I would humbly request the Secretary of Sardar Patel Education Campus, Shri Sheetal Patel sir, to felicitate Professor Dr. Shirish Kulkarni sir with a memento as a token of love and respect. Please give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Moving further with the program, I would like to invite Patron of the Conclave and the Secretary of Sardar Patel Education Campus, Shri Sheetal Patel sir, to say a few words on this occasion. Shri Sheetal Patel sir.
Good evening, one and all. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University, Dr. Shirish Kulkarni sir, respected panel member, principals, HODs, and professors of various colleges and institutions of SPU and other universities of the state, and invited guests. I heartily welcome you all the Sardar Patel Education Campus. Ladies and gentlemen, being the head of Sardar Patel Education Campus, I always believe that my role is not limited to just education provider. I strongly believe it is my moral duty to participate actively and make my contribution in the growth of development of our country through education. Therefore, when Dr. Nirav Trivedi came to me with a professional of this conclave, I welcome his idea and encourage him to execute this idea on a big platform. And we are here with this conclave budget Manthan 2022. I may not be the right person to make any critical remark on the Indian budget 2022, but I wish to learn about the budget from those scholarly panel members and the discussion that will follow. This conclave has been our ambitious project as we, being the education hub of Charotar, aspire to shape our students personally and train them in variety of skill. Let tell you that Sardar Patel Education Campus has always aimed to develop holistic professionally of our students and faculty members, and organization of this conclave is a part of this process. I will like to congratulate the director of Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, Dr. Nirav Trivedi, for organizing this conclave. I am sure we shall have a very good time today evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. આજે તમે આયા અને કેમ્પસમાં પહેલી જ વાર આપણે ઘણી વાર મળેલા છે, પણ કેમ્પસમાં આજે પહેલી જ વાર તમારી સાથે વાર્તાલાપ થયો અને ઘણી ઓળખાણો નીકળી. આ એક નીરવ સરનું પ્લાનિંગ હતું, પણ એની સાથે સાથે એકબીજાની ઓળખાણ થાય, એકબીજા સાથે મળીએ અને સ્ટુડન્ટ રિલેટેડ ને ફેકલ્ટી રિલેટેડ કેમ્પસમાં ઘણા પ્રોગ્રામો થાય અને તમારો સાથ ને સહકાર તો છે જ, પણ આ રીતે આવતા રહો દરેક પ્રસંગમાં તો અમને બી ઘણી મજા આવે. ઓકે, થેન્ક યુ સર.
Thank you, Sri Patel, sir, for your encouraging words. Now, due to some urgent commitments, our Honorable Vice Chancellor is taking a leave. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your precious time, sir.
Okay. This is the time that we all have been waiting eagerly for. Let's start with the panel discussion and the manthan of the budget 2022. I hand over the session to Dr. Raju Rathod sir, who will be acting as a moderator of the session. Dr. Raju Rathod sir, please take the charge.
માઇક આપણે ઉભો રહે લાઈવ મને ઉપર તું ઉપર આવી જાય
A very cold good evening to all of this.
uh, gathering here. Friends, Bangladesh is one of the fastest developing countries in the world, along with India. Madurai and Rajkot are some of the fastest developing cities, along with Hyderabad and Bangalore. Uttar Pradesh is one of the fastest developing state in India, along with Gujarat. And Sardar Patel Education Campus is one of the fastest developing educational institute, not only in Gujarat, but across the country. As on a national level, on YouTube live, this program is covered, and we can say the reach of this particular program is pan-India. So congratulations to the team of Sardar Patel Education Campus managed by Tirupati Foundation. फ्रेंड्स, कभी कभी हम अपने आप को तूफानों के बीच पाते हैं और कभी कभी तूफानों के बीच हम अपने आप को पाते हैं. Sometimes in a midst of a nowhere I find myself, and sometimes I find myself in a midst of nowhere. I am not talking this in context of budget, but I am talking this in context of my situation among all these experts. So budget 2020 is also presented a very turbulent time, and you all know, right, that we just overcome from the recent wave of corona, and then still we are uncertain that what is going to happen. In this situation, this budget is presented, and this budget is historical in many ways. One, because of this kind of pandemic is once in a century in the history of humankind, and that's why when we are talking about a budget manthan 2022, I remind of the story of elephant and the blind people. When blind people have been now asked to touch the elephant and tell that what they perceived, then a different person perceived differently. So here also, everyone see the budget and perceive the budget from their own myopic and blinked perspective, which may be suffering from his or her own aspiration. But when budget is presented in one of the largest democracy of the world, in a nation like India, then it is used as one of the strategic weapon to maximize the resources of a country, as we are claim to be a welfare state and moving to a capitalist country. So in some of the newspapers it was criticized also that it is a capitalist budget. But when budget is prepared, the three things are very important. One is what is the reality, like what is the reality of a day, right? And that's why economic survey is presented just one day before the budget. The other thing is potential. What is the potential of a country in a given time, right? That is also very important. And the third thing is what are the aspirations of a people. So in the context of these three things, reality, potential, and aspiration, the budget is in a holistic way, in a totality, thought out and prepared, and thousands of people are working behind the budget. And when it comes to the people, they perceive it and interpret it different. And that's why such kind of programs are organized by academic institute, where we people from different walk of life and let them tell their own interpretation,
not in a subjective
way, but in objectivity. So the framework of this particular panel discussion is just like this budget is like a conservative budget, because they don't promise much, and they promise to work more, and that's why there is a lot of conservatism. And in some of the editorial of the famous newspapers, English newspapers, they say it is a sub-millionization, right, kind of approach adopted in this particular budget. So we are also very conservative here, giving a time each expert. We have four of us here, economists as well as chartered accountant, as well as the financial planner also, as you got the detailed introduction in the beginning. So without taking much of your time, what the modus operandi we decided that each expert will come and present his views for 5 to 7 minutes. And once we take the turn one by one, we will directly go to the question and answer session. And in the beginning, as the MOC was talking about, India is a young country. So at my, discretion, I decided that let's start from the most young person to the experienced person. So we invite Dr. Vijay Jariwala first, who is one of the most youngest economists in the campus Sardar Patel University. So I request Dr. Vijay Jariwala to please come and present his views for maximum 5 to 7 minutes on the budget. Vijay sir.
Good. I am thankful to the opportunity given. The dignitaries on the dais and the dignitaries of the dais and the fellow professors. Has been given, and I am restricted to speak only 5 minutes. In fact, Sitaraman, when she presented the budget, she took 100 minutes to present. In fact, this was the shortest one, the 2022-23, and the largest one, that what she presented in 2019, was the longest one, 2 hours and 47 minutes. So both the records are now with her. Keeping in mind this 2022-23 budget, pursue budget as an information a prior to you, and budget is the estimates available to us a prior. So keeping in mind prior information, everybody has to adjust accordingly for the whole year. So my perceptions with respect to this budget would be, there are 4 points that we need to consider while presenting this budget. First and foremost, that is, we are having the pre-pandemic, pandemic period, and post-pandemic period. So under this transition period, it is bit difficult with the expenditure on the one and the revenue on the other hand. So ultimately and at last, we can consider that like India, we are rotated for us. The country where we are 2 years is the massive to be any of the country like developing country like us. Secondly, see if when we recovery that we are having, as far as the recovery is considered is in exports, and there too there are large numbers of the problem facing. So our export increase that those exports increase because of the price rise, and most of the developed face the problem. So we have that export rise, but then too these are there. Third, we consider as a call the recovery from the, it has been unequal. The unequal sort of the growth theory that we have observed. The larger have acquired a lot of profit sharing, while consider micro, small enterprises, they suffered a lot. Finally, the global scenario is what very much of on a recovery path. So America and all other, they are now tempering with their federal rates. When reserves are going to be increased, of course it's are there. But the capital investing will fly away. Is under this backdrop, we need to what you call the two how to sustain the economics. In what will be the fiscal strength that we are going to have. So keeping in this mind, I'll write out the few points. First and foremost is the economic growth. Of course, any government two choice. Why have the expenditure to be incurred? One is a demand, and other one is to be what you call two way. You may provide the expenditure directly, transfer sources, and by transfer sources to the people like farmer. the BPL people and all other. We may generate the. This is the one. This is the other way is, you just means like assets and etc. So for the last we sort that expenditure what you call the demand side, we kept on increasing our larger sum being provided and accordingly been created for the two. But this year expected that government will go for the investment sources of ways and means, and accordingly have this year budget as an tax that is all capital expenditure oriented, that we are hoping to have nearly 7.50 lakh crore rupees of these into the pipelines. So what the strategy which was obvious we have adopted. First thing. Second thing is that economic growth and exports. A lot to do with the economic growth and exports. There are a lot of sales available. If at all we see to the benefit of China, company willing to enter into any country like India. But what this suggests, though we have our what it call doing ease of doing etc. Also remove lows 1456 of what it call the company we have scrapped but then to taxation policy like customs and etc. impeding the all those who enter our market. Like say for example, I'll illustrate Tesla. The Elon Musk would like to produce Tesla over here, but we are charging higher tax and duties and etc. for importing those parts. So that is that willingness to open up should be there, and we still have the protectionist strategy. We'll still want our protect our what we call micro, small and enterprises. So welcoming all those industries will require what it called the willpower to at least open up the economy in a true sense. This is the second thing. Fiscal program, yeah, of course, this is the core area. We borrowed a lot. Whenever we are what it called, see, as our vice chancellor sir told us that anyone wants to match up both of these revenue and expenditure. Our large revenue has to be cope up with this borrowing program, and I'm seeing that days to come we will be in a debt. The GDP ratio has been tenfoldly increased for the last few years, and that is a pandemic like a situation. For the 2 years we borrowed a lot, but this year onwards the strategy to reduce it. Accordingly, we are also our fiscal deficit, the gap between expenditure. So fiscally we need to have the and in fact vice in his presidential remark he was asking about the one hand we have unemployment and other inflation. So in economics we have a very well known theory of Phillips curve. If at all you want to have more employment, you would want the price rise. That is all. Inflation must be. So you cannot ride on the both the vehicles simultaneously. Employment price rise. If at all you want to reduce unemployment, you must be ready for paying the price for that. Of course, inflation aggregated amount that our increase everybody demand, and accordingly we have to produce those limited resources. So this is the third, I think, and fourth will be fiscal strategy, that term program that we need to have, and in fact we need to on the Narega kind of schemes more. So far as this budget is concerned, we have the reduction in those of these schemes. So in concluding remark, I can consider that the domestic and global macroeconomic tax, the capex, that is capital expenditure pushed by the government in the budget, it better see that in the right direction. I consider it's the rationale behind the budget's continued focus on the import substitution. We still have substitution. Associated problem is we should not have to protect our. There should not be more protect our industries. So in view of this, the budget appeared to a lack of coherent growth strategy, which was needed of the hour, and especially given the high level of government debt, we need to what it call increase or accelerate our growth. So, view of the massive borrowing of the program announced in the budget, relaxation of the capital to encourage the greater performance in the government bonds, impressive. The RBI has made some announcement in this regard last 10 February, but much more expected the what it call government they are going to borrow for the next coming days. So government has taken back the capex boost, but lead to the jobs and growth. See, question mark how this capital expenditure generate the what it call and growth. Many a time we are aware about that whatever the technology or capital expenditure we incurred, substitute the labor content. So we more go on what it call mechanizations, and of course government is also key this all sunrise industries like artificial intelligence, machine learning. They are all allotted a lot. So keeping in this mind and back, of course, capital expenditure, if it is to be right, of course, will be what they have projected 9.2%. I'm in a calculation that we may reach to the double-digit growth rate of 10 to 10%. So far as prospect is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jariwala sir. As you rightly said, as it was noted in one of the newspaper, also that over cautious bring its own risk. So if you are too much cautious, then it also bring a risk. And we all are living in a state of flux, particularly in this pandemic, and that's why first time in the interpretation of this budget, or even while conceptualizing this budget, flexibility, agility, and responsiveness criteria is considered in this budget also. So without taking much of your time, now I request the another young and dynamic chartered accountant from Sanskari Nagari, Baroda, Chartered Accountant Nayan Kothari sir, to please come and tell his views.
Good evening, respected dignitaries on and off the dais. I compliment the management for such a wonderful campus and the program being set on as if we are feeling we are on probably the CNBC debate or the analysis session with a cup of coffee in the hand and analyzing this. So really a thunder applause for the management. Attended many seminars and speeches on the budget after within an hour's budget were rolled out in this entire month, but this is one of the very unique and one of its kind programs. So I thank for inviting and giving me this opportunity this evening. Friends, 2 minutes sir has taken little less and 2 minutes extra because it is to deal with the income tax, which has got straight subtle provisions with the act. કાયદામાં શું બદલાવ છે સીધું આવતા વર્ષ માટે propose કરેલું છે. I think if I'll take a couple of sections amendment properly, so it will reduce the question at a later stage to me and more to listen from this. So changes particular to the direct tax law. Madam gave about 1 hour 31 minute speech. Out of that, very part was for the taxation provision. Amongst the direct tax provision, as VC sir already was set aside, and the direct tax were there. પહેલી વસ્તુ tax slabમાં બદલાવ નથી થયો. I think, as a bold view of me, it's a good thing that we have a stable tax rates, corporate tax rate, and policies last 4 years, so that those who want to taxation, those individuals planning their taxation schedules, etc., they will not be having change into the policy. Isn't it good? It is. Tax rate માં બદલાવ સ્ટુડન્ટ માટે અને ટેક્સપેયર માટે બંને માટે યાદ રાખવાનું અઘરું જોઈએ છે. તો છેલ્લા 4 વર્ષથી આમાં બદલાવ નથી. So I look at it as one good step, and in particularly the corporate taxes. જે કરદાતા છે આગલા બંધ કરદાતાઓ છેલ્લા 2 થી 3 થયા છે ઇન્વેસ્ટિંગ ઇન ધ યર ઓફ પેન્ડેમિક. એ લોકોને મેડમે થેન્ક યુ જ કહ્યું. કેમ કે ભાઈ તમે ટેક્સ ભરો રિટર્ન ભરો છો, અને થેન્ક યુમાં એટલો હતો કે બીજા કરવેરા નાખ્યા નથી. What could have been done? Let me put my small view on this. આખા બજેટે કહ્યું એ પ્રમાણે ઇન્ફ્રાસ્ટ્રક્ચર ડેવલપમેન્ટ આંતર માળખાગત સુવિધા મેક્સિમમ સ્પેન્ડ છે ગવર્મેન્ટનું. એ સ્પેન્ડ માટેના પૈસા ટેક્સીસમાંથી, બોરોઇંગ્સમાંથી કે બીજે ક્યાંથી લેવાની જગ્યાએ પૈસા ટેક્સ પેયર પાસેથી બોન્ડના સ્વરૂપે લઈને 20-25 હજાર રૂપિયાની બી જો ટેક્સ એટીસી ની એડિશનલ આપી શકે. સો ધીસ ડિસસેટિસ્ફેક્શન, આ થોડી નાની અમથી જે નારાજગી આવી છે એ કદાચ દૂર થઈ શક્યો. That's a very personal mind looking at the education on the infrastructure side. So that is on the corporate tax. Second point, highly relevance pretty not still, but the maximum discussion has happened on the taxation of crypto. શબ્દ આખા બજેટમાં ક્યાંય વાપર્યો નથી. શબ્દ વાપર્યો હતો that is VDA, virtual digital asset. એક આખો એસેટ ક્લાસ ઉભો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે. બે જગ્યાએ તેની ઇફેક્ટ આપી છે ટેક્સેશનમાં. એક ટેક્સેશન રેટ, income from other sources, the provisions of the gift, 94 about that. વર્ચ્યુઅલ ડિજિટલ એસેટમાં એટલે કે ક્રિપ્ટો કે ભારતની પોતાની આવવાની ડિજિટલ કરન્સીમાં જ્યારે પણ કોઈ પણ રોકાણકાર ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરશે અને એટ ધ ટાઈમ ઓફ સેલ ઇટ ઇઝ ગોઈંગ ટુ બી ધી કેપિટલ ગેઇન, કારણ કે એને કેપિટલ અસેટ તરીકે ગણતરી કરવામાં આવી છે. અને કઈ અમાઉન્ટ પર ટેક્સ લાગશે? સૌપ્રથમ 30% ટેક્સ. કઈ અમાઉન્ટ પર? વેચાણ કિંમત માઇનસ ખરીદ કિંમત. ખરીદ કિંમત સિવાય ₹1 પણ બીજો કોઈ ખર્ચો બાદ મળશે નહીં. 30% હાઈએસ્ટ રેટ ઓફ ટેક્સ પ્લસ સરચાર્જ એક્સેટ્રા. બીજું, આમાં લોસ થયો તો ₹10નું કોઈન લઈને કે ક્રિપ્ટો લઈને તમે ₹5માં વેચી તો લોસ મજરે નહીં મળે. બીજા સ્પેક્યુલેટિવ બિઝનેસમાં એ લોસ મજરે મળે છે અને કેરી ફોરવર્ડ થઈ શકે છે. વર્ચ્યુઅલ ડિજિટલ અસેટમાં આ વસ્તુ loss majre nahi made. The loss will not be allowed to be carried forward or adjust any other positive income. And second thing, whenever I transfer the digital currency not through sales but through the gift to some other person, that is included into the section 56 which covers the gift. તો અને બક્ષિસ તરીકે પણ જો આપશો તો ત્યાં બક્ષિસમાં પણ ગિફ્ટના સેક્શનમાં કરી છે. અને ત્રીજું TDS. જ્યારે તમે ₹100ની કરન્સી વેચીને સામેવાળાને પૈસા આપશો ત્યારે રૂપિયાને આપીને 1% allowed to deduct and deposit in your PAN card as a TDS. Why? 30% તો ટેક્સ ભરવાના જ છે, પણ why this provision of the TDS? To bring the things into the formal channel. એકવાર મારા AIS સ્ટેટમેન્ટ, ગયા વર્ષ સુધી આપણે શબ્દ વાપરતા હતા 26AS, now onwards we use the word annual information statement. So once that is reflected into my annual information statement, I cannot escape from showing those transactions into my computation of taxes. So these are the 3 typical changes and provisions with respect to the taxation of digital currency, or technically put up as virtual digital asset, and in the layman's language, regular language, we consider it to be the crypto or any other coins. Nowadays, even today newspaper also has got that one-page Salman Khan photo and some other digital currency advertisement. So that is about this thing. Another change into the rate of tax which has happened at only one place, that is in surcharge. Tax પરનો tax rate 20%, 30%, પણ સરચાર્જ 30% સુધી વર્ષ સુધી. હજી આ વર્ષ સુધી 31 માર્ચ 2022 સુધી 1 થી 5 કરોડનો જો કેપિટલ ગેઇન કે એ રીતનો મૂડી નફો થશે તો ત્યાં કદાચ 25% અને એની ઉપર 37%નો સરચાર્જ છે અને અલગ અલગ સ્લેબ રેટ છે. સો વન વેલકમ પ્રોવિઝન ઇઝ ધી ચેન્જ ઇનટુ ધ સ્લેબ રેટ. કારણ કે મુકેશ પટેલ સાહેબની આ વર્ષની સ્પીચ સાંભળી ત્યારે અમને શબ્દ પ્રયોગ કર્યો હતો કે માથાથી પાઘડી મોટી થઈ જતી હતી કે 20% ટેક્સ સ્લેબ હોય અને 5 કરોડનો જિંદગીમાં એકવાર કેપિટલ ગેઇન થયો કોઈ મોટી અસેટ વેચવાથી, તો કે 37 એક ટેક્સ સ્લેબની ઉપર તમારે શું ભરવો પડતો હતો? સરચાર્જ. સો ટુ રેશનલાઇઝ ધોઝ રેટ, ધ સરચાર્જ હેઝ બીન રિડ્યુસ્ડ ટુ 15%. That would reduce the tax burden up to 4% in case of the gain 5 crore and above, and 0.1%, that is to be precise 4.6%, and in case of the gain between 1 to 5 CR, it will reduce it to 2.1%. But mind well, that rates are applicable till the transaction happening in 37% I'm talking about. They are applicable to the transaction which are going to be executed till 2022. આ રેટ લાગુ પડશે 1/4/22 થી. એટલે બાય ચાન્સ આવું કોઈ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન અંડર કન્સિડરેશન હોય, I would advise and recommend to do it after this fiscal year ends. So that is one change into the rate of the surcharge. Two more apart from that, which are a typical welcome provision, or rather one should really particularly focus about. Manufacturing companies has got least taxation, lowest rate of taxation anywhere in the world, that's the India. 15%. 2019 થી 23 કે 22 દરમિયાન તમારું જો પ્રોડક્શન શરૂ થઈ ગયું હોય તો 115 BAE માં 2023 સુધી જો પ્રોડક્શન શરૂ થઈ ગયું હોય તો જે પણ ટેક્સ સ્લેબ છે કોર્પોરેટનો એની જગ્યાએ 15 લાગતો હતો. બે 1-2 વર્ષમાં કદાચ કોઈ કારણસર શરૂ ન થઈ તો this period has been extended for 1 and still the organizations manufacturing entities starting the manufacturing in coming 1 year would also qualify for that 15% of the tax rate, one of the lowest tax across the globe. દુનિયાના કોઈ દેશોમાં આટલા ઝડપથી કરવેરાના દર બદલાતા નથી અને ઘણી બધી જગ્યાએ if we talk about the individual tax rate or the corporate tax rate, we are the country which has got one of the lower rate of taxes. સાહેબ અમેરિકાની સુવિધા જોઈએ અને ભારતના રેટ પર ટેક્સ ભરીએ છીએ આપણે, અને તેમ છતાં જેમ સાહેબે કહ્યું એમ ડિમાન્ડ કરતા રહીએ છીએ. If sometime time permits, you must compare the rate of taxes into those developed country and the rate of taxes with us. One more such provision is with respect to the startups. એની પણ સમય મર્યાદામાં 1 વર્ષનો વધારો કર્યો છે કે સર્ટિફાઈડ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ્સ માટે ગયા વર્ષે સનસેટ પ્રોવિઝન હતી 1 year, that 3 years tax holiday they are giving. 23 સુધી શરૂ થયેલા સ્ટાર્ટઅપને એમાં પણ સમય મર્યાદામાં 1 વર્ષનો વધારો કર્યા છે. So one, if set up the eligible startup into that particular year for 3 years, 100% tax exemption is there. That provision has been there into the budget since long, but in this budget they have extended it by 1 more year. So that is one typical change under section 80ID. The one more thing about the COVID, that's the word probably we had been discussing a lot into last few years and months. So in that 2 or 3 points they have touched upon. One under the head of section 17, which deals with the salary, and section 56, which deals with the gift. How in salary? If employer incurs the medical expenditure for the employee, it becomes a taxable perquisite for him. પણ અહીંયા ગણ કોવિડમાં માનવતાની દ્રષ્ટિએ કે બીજા કોઈ પણ કારણસર, if the employer has given any help either for the recovery and treatment or after the unforeseen event like death of the employee, then that entire amount is exempted either in the hand of the recipient, the employee, or the family members. So that is one typical change in section 17 subsection 2 dealing with the COVID help by the employer to the employee. And section 56, કદાચ employer નથી, તમે જોબમાં નથી, કામ ધંધામાં છો, પોતાનું કામ કરો છો, and instead of that your family member or some other well-wisher gave you certain money for your treatment procurement, or in an unforeseen event like death due to COVID, the family member were given some financial assistance. Here the cap is employer માં કોઈ લિમિટ નથી, મર્યાદા. Here the cap is of 10 lakh 10 લાખ રૂપિયા સુધીની આવી કોઈ પણ કોવિડની સારવાર માટે કે મરણોપરાંત એ વ્યક્તિના ફેમિલી મેમ્બરને જો હેલ્પ કરવામાં આવે તો 10 લાખ રૂપિયા સુધીની મર્યાદામાં કોઈ ટેક્સ લાગશે નહીં. Only a typical point is there within 12 months from the death, this amount should have been received. હવે એવું કેમ છે ખબર નહીં, એટલે ધ્યાન એ રાખવું પડે. કદાચ એમ્પ્લોયર પાસેથી કે કોઈ જગ્યાએથી પૈસા લેવામાં 12 મહિનાની ઉપર 15 દી જતા રહે તો કદાચ અહીંયા બેનિફિટ જતો રહે. So whatever the various organization is presenting their representation on the finance bill, in which this point had been typically added and highlighted with. Okay, so I think a few more provisions, etc., we will take up in the Q&A or the turn comes. But these are the few typical provision I really wanted to draw our attention with. Thank you.
મિત્રો, જેમ વાઇસ ચાન્સલર સાહેબે કીધું કે ઓર્ગેનાઇઝ અને અનઓર્ગેનાઇઝ સેક્ટર, એટલે બંને પાસે જોબ હોય તો કેપિટલ એક્સપેન્ડિચર કરે તો જોબ મળે, અને જોબ મળે તો ઇન્કમ થાય તો ટેક્સ ભરવાનો આવે, અને ટેક્સ ભર્યા પછી પૈસા બચે તો એ બચેલા પૈસાનું શું કરવું એની જાણકારી માટે મિસ્ટર હાર્દિક આપણી સાથે છે. કામના એક જ માણસ છે, કારણ કે એ આપણને સમજાવશે કે હવે પૈસા બચ્યા એના ડબલ કેમ કરવા. તો આ આખી ચર્ચામાં જો કોઈ આપણા ઓલરાઉન્ડર હોય તો હાર્દિક પંડ્યા પછી આ હાર્દિકભાઈ છે, એટલે એને શાંતિથી સાંભળીએ.
થેન્ક યુ રાઠોડ સાહેબ. બે મોટી જવાબદારી તમે મારા માથે નાખી દીધી છે, કારણ કે આટલા ઝડપથી પૈસા ડબલ કરવાની જો ટેકનિક મારી પાસે હોત તો હું કદાચ બોલવા ના આવ્યો હોત. પણ હું શરૂઆત ચોક્કસ આવી રીતે કરીશ કે ગરીબ કો મિલી સબસિડી, અમીર કો મિલા રિબેટ. गरीब को मिली सब्सिडी, अमीर को मिला रिबेट, बाकी बचे हम और आप. चलो शुरू करते हैं डिबेट. राइट. सो क्यारे पण આવું બજેટ આવે ને પછી ત્રણ જ વસ્તુ થતી હોય કે આ ડિબેટ થતું હોય, એની એનાલિસિસ થતું હોય કે એનું ડિસ્કશન થતું હોય. હું સ્પેકમાં નીરવભાઈ, શીતલભાઈ અને આશીષભાઈને ખાસ અભિનંદન આપું છું. પાછળ મંથન શબ્દ લગાવ્યો, અને જ્યારે મંથન શબ્દ લગાવીએ તો હું પાછળના 25 વર્ષ જઈ શકું અને આગળના 25 વર્ષનું વિઝન પણ આપી શકું. એટલે હું 2022 સુધી રિસ્ટ્રિક્ટ કરવા નથી માંગતો મારી જાતે, પણ જેમ વીસી સાહેબે કીધું કે જ્યારે પણ બજેટ આવે એટલે સૌથી પહેલા એવું તરત જ રૂલિંગ પાર્ટી આવી જાય ને કે આ તો ગ્રોથ લક્ષી બજેટ હતું, વિકાસ બહુ જ થશે. એના પછી ઓપોઝિશન આવી જાય કે આ ગરીબોના માટે તો આ બજેટમાં કાંઈ નથી, અને બીજે દિવસે સવારે દિવ્ય ભાસ્કર ગુજરાત સમાચારમાં હેડલાઇન આવી જાય કે નિર્મલા સીતારામનજીએ ટેક્સ પેયરને એક લોલીપોપ આપી દીધી. સો ધીસ ઇઝ ઓલ અબાઉટ બજેટ. બજેટ આ ત્રણ વસ્તુમાં જ શરૂ થાય ને ત્રણ વસ્તુમાં પૂરું થઈ જાય. પણ આપણે એની પર મંથન કરવું છે, અને આજે મને જે વિષય આપવામાં આવ્યો છે સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી પર બોલવાનું છે. રાજુભાઈએ કીધું કે થોડું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ પર પણ લેજો, પણ મને મેક્સિમમ સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી પર બોલવું છે. પણ આ દેશમાં ત્રણ જ સેક્ટર છે. ફર્સ્ટ છે પ્રાઇમરી સેક્ટર, જેને એગ્રીકલ્ચર કહેવાય. સેકન્ડ સેકન્ડરી સેક્ટર કે જેને ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયલ સેક્ટર કહેવાય, અને ત્રીજું મારું સેક્ટર આવે જેને સર્વિસ સેક્ટર કહેવાય. દેશમાં લગભગ 179 લાખ 179 લાખ કરોડની ગ્રોસ રિસીપ્ટ થાય છે, એમાંથી 96 લાખ કરોડ રાજુભાઈ સર્વિસ સેક્ટરમાંથી આવે છે, અને જીડીપી નું ટોટલ કન્ટ્રીબ્યુશન 53% છે. એટલે લગભગ 50% સમય મને આપવાનો હોય, પણ મને 7 મિનિટ આપવામાં આવી છે. કઈ વાંધો નહીં, આપણે 7 મિનિટમાં એને વાત કરવાની કોશિશ કરીશ, પણ હું તમને 15-20 વર્ષ પાછો લઈ જઈશ કે આપણી જે ઇકોનોમી છે એ લગભગ 75 વર્ષ જૂની છે. 1950માં આપણે ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ થયું, અને 1950 થી 1965 આપણા બાપ દાદાઓએ ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ નું જશ્ન મનાવવામાં પૂરા કરી દીધા. 1964માં જયારે ચાઇના વોર આવ્યો અને 1966માં સેકન્ડ વોર આપણે ચાઇના સાથે લડી પડ્યા, ત્યારે આપણને ખબર પડી કે આપણી પાસે 2 ટાઈમનું અનાજ પણ નથી, અને એ વખતે એગ્રીકલ્ચર ઓરિએન્ટેડ બજેટ ચાલુ થયું. લાલ બહાદુર શાસ્ત્રી આપણા પ્રધાનમંત્રી હતા, અને એમણે જય જવાન જય કિસાનનો નારો આપ્યો, અને ઘણા બધા સિનિયર લોકો પણ છે. હું એ વખતે નતો, પણ શાસ્ત્રીવાર ઉજવવામાં આવતો, એટલે અઠવાડિયામાં એકવાર આપણે ભૂખ્યા રહેતા. અત્યારે આપણી એગ્રીકલ્ચરની એ હાલત છે કે આપણે આ ફૂડ જે બનાવીએ છીએ, જે એગ્રીકલ્ચર પ્રોડક્ટ્સ થાય છે, એનું એક્સપોર્ટ કઈ રીતે કરીશું? આપણા ગોદામોમાં લગભગ 3 ટાઈમ્સ આપણી રિક્વાયરમેન્ટના 3 ટાઈમ્સ શું પડેલું છે? અનાજ પડેલું છે. સો એગ્રીકલ્ચરમાં આપણે ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ થયા એટલે 1980 થી આપણે લોકોએ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી સેક્ટર ઉપર જોશ ચાલુ કર્યો. And from 1980 onwards આપ જોશો તો રિલાયન્સ, એલ&ટી, ટાટા સ્ટીલ, બજાજ ચેતક લેવામાં લગભગ 1 વર્ષનું વેઇટિંગ પીરિયડ આવતું. આવી મારુતિ, આવી બધી કંપનીઝનું ગવર્મેન્ટે ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયલાઇઝેશન ફોકસ ચાલુ કર્યું. અને સૌથી મોટો પ્રોબ્લેમ ફરી આવી ગયો 1991માં, જ્યારે આપણે આપણું સોનું જાપાનમાં શું કરવું પડ્યું, ત્યાં ગીરો મૂકવું પડ્યું, અને વિદેશી હુંડિયામણ લાવવી પડી. સો ફોરેન એક્સચેન્જ ખાલી એક જ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી લાવી શકે છે આ દેશમાં, અને એ છે સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી. સો 1991માં આપણે ગ્લોબલાઇઝેશન કર્યું, ને આપણને ખબર પડી કે હવે ફોરેન મનીની આપણા દેશમાં જરૂર છે, અને સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીને આપણે શું કરવા માંડ્યું? પ્રોત્સાહન આપવા માંડ્યું. સો લાસ્ટ 10-15 યર્સથી તમે બજેટ જોશો તો ઓલ બિલોંગ્સ ટુ સર્વિસ સેક્ટર. સર્વિસ સેક્ટર્સને જેટલી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ વધારે આપી શકાય એવું ગવર્મેન્ટ કોશિશ કરે છે, કારણ કે 53% સર્વિસ સેક્ટર કન્ટ્રીબ્યુટ કરે છે, 25% લગભગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયલ સેક્ટર કન્ટ્રીબ્યુટ કરે છે, અને બાકીના 15%
નું એગ્રીકલ્ચર સેક્ટર કન્ટ્રીબ્યુટ કરે છે. સો આ પ્રમાણે 100% નું એગ્રી થાય છે. હવે જ્યારે તમે ફોરેન ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટની વાત કરો છો તો આપણને ફોરેન ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કેમ જરૂર છે? તો ઇન્ડિયા 5th લાર્જેસ્ટ ઇકોનોમી થવા જઈ રહી છે, પણ સ્ટીલ 5th લાર્જેસ્ટ ઇકોનોમીમાં આપણી માથાદીઠ આવક જોઈએ તો 1.5 લાખ રૂપિયા છે. અને જો આ જ વસ્તુને હું યુએસએ જોડે કમ્પેર કરું તો એ લગભગ 45 લાખ રૂપિયા છે. તો આપણે કહીએ કે આપણા દેશમાં તો 130 કરોડની વસ્તી છે. ચલો ચાઇના જોડે કમ્પેર કરીએ. ચાઇનાની 155 કરોડ જેવી વસ્તી છે. એ લોકોની પર કેપિટા ઇન્કમ છે લગભગ 6 લાખ રૂપીસ. સો વી રિક્વાયર લોટ ઓફ મની ફ્રોમ ફોરેન. અને એફડીઆઈ એક જ છે. સરે કીધું કે 10% લોકો જ છે કે જે લોકો ઓર્ગેનાઇઝ સેક્ટરથી એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટ થાય છે. 90% એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટ તો મારું સર્વિસ સેક્ટર આપે છે. ઝોમેટો લઈ લો, ડીમાર્ટ લઈ લો, આવી ઘણી બધી જગ્યા છે કે જ્યાં આગળ એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટ અત્યારે શું થઈ રહ્યું છે, કન્સિડર થઈ રહ્યું છે. સો ઇન્ડિયામાં કયા એડવાન્ટેજ છે અને આ વખતે સીતારમણજીએ બજેટમાં શું શું પ્રેઝન્ટ કર્યું એના 2-3 પોઈન્ટ લઈ લઈશ ખૂબ જ ઝડપથી. કે ગવર્મેન્ટની પોલિસી સપોર્ટ 2013 થી કન્સિસ્ટન્ટલી સર્વિસ સેક્ટર માટે રહેલી છે. 2015માં એ લોકો ટુરિઝમ પોલિસી લઈને આવ્યા, 2016માં એજ્યુકેશન પોલિસી લઈને આવ્યા, 2017માં એવિએશન પોલિસી અને નેશનલ હેલ્થ પોલિસી આવી, અને છેલ્લે નેશનલ ડિજિટલ કોમ્યુનિકેશન પોલિસી પણ આપણી પાસે આવી ગઈ છે. અને નેક્સ્ટ 2 વસ્તુ કહીએ તો નેશનલ ડિજિટલ હેલ્થ મિશન ચાલી રહ્યું છે. 2009-10માં જેમ આધાર કાર્ડ આવ્યું અને અત્યારે આપણું આધાર કાર્ડ બધા માટે બહુ જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે, દરેક જગ્યાએ આધાર કાર્ડ લાગે છે, એવી રીતે એક હેલ્થ મિશન આપણું લાગી રહ્યું છે. સો નેશનલ ડિજિટલ હેલ્થ મિશન પાછળ પણ આ વર્ષે પણ ઘણું બધું બજેટ ગવર્મેન્ટે ઇન્વેસ્ટ કર્યું છે અને આપણને લાગે છે કે આવતા નેક્સ્ટ 10-15 યર્સમાં એનો ઘણો બધો એડવાન્ટેજ આપણને મળશે. એવી રીતે નેશનલ બ્રોડબેન્ડ મિશનમાં ગામડા સુધી ઇન્ટરનેટ લઈ જવું છે. આજે યુટ્યુબ પર આપણે અત્યારે લાઈવ છે, અહીંયા લગભગ ઘણું બધું ઓડિયન્સ છે, પણ એનાથી પણ 3-4 ટાઈમ્સ ઓડિયન્સ અત્યારે યુટ્યુબ પર કદાચ હશે. તો એને બ્રોડબેન્ડ ટુ ઓલ વિલેજીસ, દરેક વિલેજીસ સુધી મારે 2022 આ જ ફાઇનાન્શિયલ યરના એન્ડ સુધીમાં લઈ જવાનું છે. તો આ બજેટમાં મેક્સિમમ બ્રોડબેન્ડ અને મેક્સિમમ હેલ્થકેર પાછળ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ આવ્યું છે. વી વેલકમ ધેટ એઝ અ સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી. સર્વિસીસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીની ચેલેન્જીસ કઈ છે એની એક 2 મિનિટ વાત કરી લો. તો જેમ સરે કીધું કે ટેક્સ હોલિડે, અહીંયા આગળ કોઈ નવું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ આવે છે તો એને 3 વર્ષ સુધી જ ખાલી ટેક્સનો હોલિડે છે. રાઈટ, 3 વર્ષ સુધીનો હોલિડે ટેક્સ હોલિડે છે. અત્યારે એવું કયું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ છે કે તમે 3 વર્ષ સુધી ચલાવો અને 3 વર્ષમાં તમારું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ સેટ થઈ જાય? સાહેબ છે અહીંયા સરદાર પટેલ એજ્યુકેશન કેમ્પસ છે, લગભગ સેટ થતા ઘણા વર્ષો લાગ્યા. એવી રીતે આ એક એજ્યુકેશન ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી છે. એવી રીતે તમે જશો તો એવિએશન છે. આજે હું કોઈ એરલાઇન ચાલુ કરું તો મને એને સેટ થતા 5 કે 10 વર્ષ તો મિનિમમ થાય. પણ આપણા દેશમાં ટેક્સ હોલિડે 3 વર્ષ છે. 3 વર્ષ પછી સાહેબનું ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ આવીને ઉભું રહી જશે, ભાઈ ટેક્સ આપો. સો 3 વર્ષમાં ટેક્સ આપવો અઘરો છે. આપણો ટેક્સ રેટ છે 10% થી આજુબાજુ હોવો જોઈએ, જે અત્યારે 20% છે, જેમ સાહેબે કીધું. આપણે ત્યાં ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ બહુ જ લોઅર થઈ રહ્યા છે. પણ જ્યારે હું એક બિઝનેસ સ્ટાર્ટ કરું છું, આજે એક ઘર લેવું છે તો એનો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ છે 6.75%. પણ કોઈ ત્રણ છે જેને હું આપી દઉં કે ક્વોલિટી ઓફ ફેકલ્ટી શુડ ઇમ્પ્રુવ અને ડિજિટલ યુનિવર્સિટીને ગવર્મેન્ટે પુશબેક કરવું જોઈએ. ગવર્મેન્ટનું કામ છે પોલિસી મેકિંગ. ગવર્મેન્ટે જેમ બને એમ ઝડપથી બિઝનેસમાંથી આઉટ થઈ જવાનું છે. જેમ એ લોકો LIC નો IPO લઈ રહ્યા છે, એવિએશન એર ઇન્ડિયાને ટાટાને આપી દીધું, એમ હું તો કહું છું બેન્કિંગ, ફાઇનાન્સ, ઓઇલ એન્ડ ગેસ, રેલવે અને ઇન્સ્યોરન્સમાંથી પણ ગવર્મેન્ટે બહાર આવી જવાનું છે. ઘણા લોકો આર્ગ્યુ કરશે કે ગવર્મેન્ટને તો બધું વેચવા બેઠી છે. એક સારો આંકડો આપી દઉં કે ગવર્મેન્ટ અત્યારે 1350 કંપનીઓ ચલાવી રહી છે, 1350. એમાંથી ખાલી 125 કંપની એવી છે કે જે પ્રોફિટેબલ છે. બાકીની 1100 કંપનીઓ તમારા ને મારા ટેક્સના પૈસા પર લહેર કરે છે. સો ગવર્મેન્ટે ઝડપથી આ સેક્ટરમાંથી આવી જવું જોઈએ. ગવર્મેન્ટ હેઝ નો બિઝનેસ ટુ બી ઇન ધ બિઝનેસ. તો અમે કહીએ છીએ કે સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી અને એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટમાં જો તમને વધારો જોઈતો હશે તો યુ નીડ મેક્સિમમ પ્રાઇવેટાઇઝેશન. સો સાહેબે કીધું એમ કે સ્ટોક એક્સચેન્જ પર વાત નથી કરવી, પણ કુલકર્ણી સાહેબે જેમ કીધું કે જ્યારે બી યુક્રેન, રશિયા કે આવું કંઈક થાય તો માર્કેટમાં ઘણી ઉથલ પાથલ થઈ જાય છે. તો 2 નાના આંકડા આપીને મારું વક્તવ્ય અહીંયા પૂરું કરીશ કે એપલ કંપની છે, સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી કંપની છે. અહીંયાથી ઘણા બધા લોકો પાસે એપલનો આઈફોન હશે. અને એની iOS બહુ જ પોપ્યુલર છે. સો એપલનું જે માર્કેટ કેપિટલાઇઝેશન છે એ ઇન્ડિયાની નિફ્ટી એટલે નિફ્ટીની 50 કંપનીનો સરવાળો મારો એટલું છે. સો આપણું સર્વિસ સેક્ટર એક એપલ જેટલું જ છે. પણ આટલી ખરાબ નોટમાં આપણે અમૃત પણ કાઢવાનું છે, જેટલું વિષ નથી કહેવાનું. તો એક સારી વસ્તુ બી કહી દઉં કે ટાટા કન્સલ્ટન્સી સર્વિસીસ કરીને કંપની છે જેને આપણે સૌ TCS તરીકે ઓળખીએ છીએ. તો એનું માર્કેટ કેપિટલાઇઝેશન પાકિસ્તાનના સ્ટોક એક્સચેન્જ કરતા 3 ટાઈમ્સ છે. સો આવા સારા અને ખરાબ બંને વસ્તુ સાથે આઈ થિંક સર્વિસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીને આટલો સમય પૂરતો છે, કારણ કે અમે અનઓર્ગેનાઇઝ છીએ. 90% અમારું કામ અનઓર્ગેનાઇઝ છે. સો 90% ટાઈમ મને મળવો જોઈએ, પણ 10%માં લગભગ રાજુભાઈ મેં 7 મિનિટમાં મારું વક્તવ્ય પૂરું કરી લીધું છે. સો 1 મિનિટ જો વધી હોય તો આભાર આપનો. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ.
થેન્ક યુ હાર્દિકભાઈ. તમે ગુરુ પિક્ચર ના અભિષેક બચ્ચનની જેમ ગુરુકાન દેસાઈ જેવું પ્રેઝન્ટેશન આપ્યું. 100% મુનાફા. મિત્રો આપણે અહીંયા કેમ્પસમાં અમે જોયું, એન્ટર થતા હતા તો ત્રાજવું છે એનું રંગોળી બનાવી છે. એમાં 2 પલ્લા આવે, બરાબર, ત્રાજવું છે. તો આમ બી એવું કહેવાય છે કે ભારત છે એ 2 વસ્તુ વચ્ચે છે ને ગૂંચવાય છે, એક ભારત અને એક ઇન્ડિયા. એટલે ભારતમાં એવા લોકો રહે છે જે હજુ જેમને જમવાનું પણ નથી મળતું, ને એક ઇન્ડિયા એવું છે કે જે એપલ ફોન વાપરે છે. તો આ બંનેની ગડબડમાં RS સોઢી સાહેબ એક વખત ખૂબ સરસ વાત કરતા હતા, કારણ કે આપણે એગ્રીકલ્ચર તરફ હવે ડિસ્કશનમાં જઈ રહ્યા છીએ. તો સર એવું કહેતા હતા કે ભારતનો મુખ્ય પ્રશ્ન એ છે કે ખાવાવાળા મોઢા વધી રહ્યા છે અને પકાવવાવાળા હાથ ઓછા થઈ રહ્યા છે. અને એ ભારતમાં માણસ રહેતો હોય કે ઇન્ડિયામાં રહેતો હોય, એને બપોરે 12 વાગે જમવાનું તો જોઈએ. એ બહુ એક રિયાલિટી છે. એવા ઘણા બધા બજેટ આવે, પણ જો આ પ્રશ્નને એડ્રેસ નહીં થાય તો આપણે એને બહુ શાંતિથી સાંભળવા પડશે, કારણ કે એગ્રીકલ્ચર છે તો જ આપણું અસ્તિત્વ છે આ ધરતી ઉપર ટકી રહેશે. સો આઈ રિક્વેસ્ટ કલમકર સર ટુ પ્લીઝ કમ.
Before Kalamkar sir takes this charge, હું એક અનાઉન્સમેન્ટ કરવા માંગુ છું કે શ્રી શીતલ પટેલ સાહેબ થોડા અંગત કારણોથી થોડા વાર માટે આપણી સાથે નહીં રહે અને ફરીથી થોડા ટાઈમ આપણી સાથે જોડાશે. થેન્ક યુ સર.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor of our University, Professor Sirish Kulkarni sir, Mr. Sheetal D. Patel, the Secretary, Tirupati Foundation Trust, the Sardar Patel Education Campus, Dr. Nirav Trivedi ji, the Conclave Director and the Director of Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management SPEC, Dr. Ashish Vora, the Conclave Coordinator and the Faculty Member of the Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, the eminent members of the panel, the members of the SPEC family, invited guests, participants online and offline, press and media, ladies and gentlemen. Very good evening to one and all. At the outset, let me thank the SPEC family, particularly Mr. Sheetal Patel and the College of Management faculty members, for inviting me to be a member of this panel to this such a beautiful campus, which has been leading in terms of education. I must compliment the SPEC for organizing this panel discussion on budget 22 in order to have a holistic understanding of a budget which has been presented by the Honorable Finance Minister of India on February 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, before me, the eminent speaker has already thrown the light on the areas of their specialization. I am here to standing before you to take you to the agriculture sector, and whatever the views I am going to express, it will be mine, not to be related to my university, ministry, or the ARC. As Professor Rathore sir had made a mention about, we start with the day with the cup of tea and go to the day with a cup of coffee. So whole day we run for the work to earn some income in order to make a first instance to have a better livelihood. And a better livelihood start with the good food, the assurance of the good food, and the country like India, which has been after the 75 years of the planned development, still been called as agriculture economy, and agriculture still hold the backbone of an Indian economy. So we have made a very good progress, as sir already had mentioned about. We have gone out of the chronic food shortage. Now we are a surplus country exporting the food grains and other foods to the other countries. But still, we are not that way confident enough to keep our country turbulence free. Many of you must be traveling through the airplane and you must be having the announcements in there. Please fasten your belt because we are passing through the turbulence. Same hold true for the country like India, having 1.4 billion population, where 70% of the population residing in the rural area, and more than 214 million people are being dependent on agriculture as a rural worker. The workforce is a 55% dependence in this area. And if I talk about the livelihood, 2/3 of the people's livelihood is based on the agriculture. But agriculture being our tradition, it is in our culture, it has been always been think of not having a proper attention. Though it was given a thought in the beginning of the planning period by the Lal Bahadur Shastri, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Later it has been losing its sight. And today it is passing through the very problematic stage. The anchor person has made a statement in the beginning that जिसने इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं समझा राजा का रंग हो गया रंग का राजा हो गया. But my annadata, my farmer is a person who never understands the economics. But he has been still producing the food grains to feed a nation having 1.4 billions of the population. Please mind it. The country like having 1.4 billion population cannot depend on imports. Already we have faced the starvation in 1930. Already we have faced the problem of the US dictatorship in 1960 to 65. Thanks to our farmers and the scientists who has placed us at a very comfortable stage today. But Ghar ki murgi dal barabar. It is always been one of the last thought of speaking about, working about, and mentioning about the agriculture. I have the honor. I salute my annadata. So I present before you what I feel good in the budget and what could have been better. In the Manthan, only Amrut, no wish will come out. Because we have to march ahead in order to make India as a superpower. You cannot leave the primary sector. Primary sector having contribution, though the 20%, but it has a population of the 2/3, 66%. So it is a masses. It is the economics of masses. So the government, the people has to think about how these sectors come out of from the crisis. The agriculture growth is very important for population. India is under poverty. Prosperity of rural nation definitely depends on agriculture, though the share has come down to 20%, but still it is higher than the world average of 5.51%. You know that during the COVID period, April-June 2000 quarter, the whole GDP growth rate was minus of 24%, but agriculture grew at the rate of 3.4%. The rate of growth of the positivities in agriculture showed this is the backbone of the India. Though the budget is for the 1 year specifically, and I put a caveat, my caveat here, because you need to see budget for both and the 1 year. Because it is so happened, I promise you to give 100 rupees, but after the 1 year, if I ask you, I said I received only 50 rupees. So budget has to be tallied exactly the outlay in the next year. Then only government, whether by 17 goals, agriculture and livelihood. And there must be the thought of reaching to the $5 trillion economy and also the doubling of farmers' income, which we could not achieve so far. Budget has given us several steps. It has a boosting farmer income, improving the viability of agriculture, renewable economic activities, starts up, Kisan drone, launching of public-private partnerships, RKVY, and also for some of the good shades are there because always there is some sort of positiveness in there. I have word in terms of the purchasing power parity, but at the same time, as sir has mentioned, the per capita income is less than the $2,000 as compared to the $60,000 in America. We need to increase the per capita income if we want to do that. And in order to have this, inclusive development is more important. We need to trickle down the progress of GDP into the rural areas. Now, regarding this budget, there were some announcements. I will make my own understanding about that. One about the minimum support prices. The government has tried to take out the money which they should have spent in the areas of the rural development and agriculture to the other sector. Central sector scheme reduced by 1.2%. Centrally sponsored scheme luckily got increased in the 6.6%. Now the agriculture and rural development, which looks for the employment has been discussed a lot. Narega is the work in 1/4. It is a very worrisome figure because still we are trying to see reverse migration to get back to the urban areas. Kisan, this is the basically income support given to the farmers. Luckily, it has some increase by 0.7%. Then there is a Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which has a reduction by 3.1%. We have to understand that and we have to accept this. The agriculture in India is going to be dependent and it has a volatility of climate. Therefore, we need to go for increasing the more coverage of our farmers. Therefore, there was being need to more money to be allotted under the minister insurance scheme. Then there is a Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sinchai Yojana. Luckily, 2% increase has been quoted. One good thing which I observed in the budget is that, again, getting back to the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. The Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana was started in 2007-8, and it has been performed very well because it has a happening of Stream 1 and Stream 2 scheme. In my opinion, when I prepared the state plan for the state of Maharashtra, I had made an appeal that there should be the scheme which is being separately for the each state, for the each region, so that we can capture the progress and the potential of that particular region. And I am very happy that RKVY has come back. Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, though it has increased to 500 crores, one good thing, but it is lower than the 900 crores which was been budgeted last year. That is what I have put in caveat in the beginning. You need to compare how much is budgeted, how much is spent. Food and nutrition security, India has been having the paradox situation. Huge food grain availability of 300 million tons, but at the same time we have the large number of poor people. And in this, the government has reduced their budget from 1,540 crore to 1,395 crore. Then distribution of pulses and oil seeds, again government seems to be not very interested to go for procurement. under the minimum support price. And market intervention scheme and product support scheme has got a less budget from 4,000 crores to the 1,500 crores. We have gone through the pandemic. Our farmers is going into the endemic, and our whole population of the youth is going with the infodemic. We are going to have a populous country in the world by 2030, but our students are not aware what were the 3 laws, 3 acts. When I asked the student, because there was a big show and the government has to withdraw the 3 acts. When I asked the student, do you know about the 3 bills, 3 acts which were passed and been withdrawn? They are not aware of this. We take a claim, we take a pride that we are going to be the youthest country by 2030. I have my own fear whether this huge population will be of beneficial or will be of the destructive mode. Because they are in infodemic. They are not having the right information, same like we are not having the information of agriculture. Many people think agriculture is a pampered business. Let us work out into the agriculture and see to it that the farmer is only the person on the earth who throws the money in the never been money for he only tried the nation. Minimum support price, which is again for more word in the country. Government declares of the 23 commodities everywhere, beginning of the sowing season. But most of the people, they are not aware. Government go for the procurement of 2 only, majority rice and wheat. And that too in Haryana, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, and Pradesh. Other states are not got benefited about this. I think there need to be more discussion. People regarding the missing doubling of farmers' income. As Sardar made a mention, the per capita income in India is 2,04,000. Sorry, in Gujarat. India comes to highest to 1,44,000. Farmers' income is 96,000 per household. It comes to 8,000 per monthly. Now wait a little bit increase, but it comes to 10,000 per month. Household has a file. You just to understand how they will be managing as per capita income which have at the national level. There is a huge disparity, and disparity since in the rural and urban, agriculture and non-agriculture. Make this a level playing field. I think the growth is not going to be sustainable. We are always going to have a turbulence, and we are not going to become a very easily in the superpower in the world. Second, there is a slogan to go for organic farming. Let me tell you, we hardly have a 2% land on organic farming. And as a consumer, we are not ready to pay the premium prices for the organic produce. If you go to the bazaar, and if there is going to be available ringan at 20 rupees kg, and organic is available for 30 rupees kg, you will go for 20 rupees kg. The people are not ready to pay premium prices because organic is going to have a lesser yield. There is no path is being provided, though it has been saying that a 5 kilometers wide corridor of Ganga is going to be there. There is a scheme called Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, which has been again somehow trying to manage the show. Let me tell you one thing, the India cannot be transferring into wholly. We go for the parcels, we'll go for the patches, we go for the area to be get categorized as organic. Third one is oilseed production. I welcome the steps taken because we are importing the oil, and let me tell you, out of the total import money, 50% money goes to the import in the vegetable oils. 60,000 crores money we are spending just getting the vegetable oil to be fed to the nation. As we had a yellow revolution in 1986, I hope not only this year, the years to come, government will go for increasing the area under the oilseed. Not only that, they should go for procurement of the oilseed and pulses at the minimum support price. Then only it is going to be the crop diversification. Whatever the Prime Minister has been hoping to try diversify the crop, as like the area which you are sitting is the tobacco belt. We need to transfer this to the crop which is going to feed the nation. Nutri-cereals, now it has come back the old ages when we used to have a jawar, bajra, maize. we are going to hotel and having the 35 rupees per piece of the jawar roti and this thing. I think nutri-cereals need to be promoted. The state like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Andhra has a very large scope to do that. Financial started by NABARD, it is a good welcome, but they should go for tidying up with the agri-clinic and agro-business supports. Subsidies has been reduced. Fertilizer subsidy has reduced by 25%. It is very worrisome for me. It is a good step, but I don't know how it is going to be our problem. Second, food subsidy is being reduced. Food subsidy is directly related to the purchase of the food grains, stock of the food grains, distribution of food grains, and giving subsidized food to the poor people. You may not be knowing, we have norms of having a buffer stock of 21 million tons, and today we are holding more than the 51 million tons. With the fear that there is going to be problem in the future. You don't know how much wastage is there, 15% wastage is there. So I will try to sum up my thing by saying that we need to focus again on the doubling of farmers' income. Doubling will not go beyond the 21,000, which was been targeted by 21-22. They have hardly 10,000 rupees income per month. We have to go a long way to double the income of the farmers. Farmers is been a large quantum of a consumer of India, which pushes the country by giving the demand for the particular product. We need to build the organic market, its supply chain, its processing. We need to go for collective aggregation and marketing of produce through the FPOs. We need to focus on PM Asha. We need to focus on the minimum support price and procurement to the oilseed and the pulses. And we need to create the infrastructure not in the urban area. It should be created in the rural area. With this, I stop here. I don't know whether I have taken much time, but this is my responsibility to present my farmers, the Annadata, which is the main the backbone of a country. And I look forward to have more progress in this area in the revised budget, which has been lefting out in the main budget presented by the Honorable Finance Minister of India. Once again, thank you, Spek. Thank you, the organizers and sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
મિત્રો જેટલી ભાખરી છે એને શેકાઈ અને બનવામાં સમય વધારે લાગે એટલી જ મીઠી લાગે એટલે એગ્રીકલ્ચર ને આપણે ટાઈમ આપવો જ પડે અને કલમકર સરની વાત જ ના કરાય આપણે એટલું સરસ એમનું અધ્યયન હોય છે અને એમની જે કંઈ પણ રિમાર્ક્સ હોય છે એ ખૂબ જ ઇનડેપ્થ હોય છે કદાચ આપણે નાના પડીએ like we are not eligible as a audience to listen his remarks. So now, without taking much of your time, we are starting a very quick question answer session. So I informed to the organizer that you can send the questions by writing also in a chit, or meanwhile that process materialize. Right now you can also stand up and ask the question. Mics are available, right? Portable mics are available. So to roll out the discussion, let us very quickly do this discussion. Yeah, anyone? Any question from the audience, or if the organizer collected the chit, then yeah. Thank you, madam. Yeah, so here is the first question. When will India cross its 5 trillion economy targets? It's a very specific question, so I expect a very specific answer, not... Yeah.
Hello. Yes, we do have a dream to cross the $5 trillion economy. At present, we are having a $2.3 billion economy, and generally economy get doubles in the rate of a 2 digit. If it is there, takes the 6 years. It was initially took the 8 to 10 years. Now, during the last 6 years, it has been doubling. And a country like India, it grow by double digit. I'm sure that by 7 or 8 years, we will reach that. Because we have the huge populous country having consumer of 70%, and hopefully, even though nobody is there, the Indians are that caliber to progress in a double digit to achieve $5 billion double economy, which we can do in the next 7 years or so.
Anyone else? Very quickly, like a specific answer in a one sentence.
Apart from this typical formal actual theory, of course, that's the principle that we base. One single line based on my experience in dealing with many people like you as a client, I would put up that this growth or this numbers could be more faster, and government by Pan Amrine by taking certain strict measures in the law has pushing the people to bring the turnover and everything on the books, papers, bank, and the formal channels. So, jetlu jaldi Bharatnu Arthatantra, it's recorded and formal, but still I make a courage to say that एक नंबर માં કે formal books માં આવવાનું શરૂ થશે, automatically the growth would be little faster compared to what is based on the principle. કારણ કે લોકોને ચોપડે નહીં બતાવીને કે ટેક્સ નહીં ભરવાનું કન્સલ્ટેશન લેવાની જગ્યાએ કેવી રીતે આના ફાયદા લેવા પર જઈશું, તો definitely the speed I can say would be into the faster mode.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's take some other interesting question. There is one interesting question from Aam Aadmi. Why did the budget not touch up the need for the Indian middle class? કારણ કે આમ તો ઇન્ડિયાના મિડલ ક્લાસ ને ખબર જ નથી કે એની નીડ શું છે, એટલે જે વ્યક્તિ ખુદ કન્ફ્યુઝ હોય એટલે in a funny side, but if any experts want to say, is it really mean like this budget doesn't touch upon, or
sorry, but this is an abstract kind of conclusion that middle class is not addressed. In fact, middle class is the middle for the budget. If you analyze properly, then you get it that idea. Some of the areas that we have pop up with this budgets, probably it has going to cover up the many areas, and in those areas, we need to accommodate all those classes. So precisely, it is not, budget is not also for upper classes. Budget is also not for the lower classes. It is for all classes. In fact, my humble submission is, it is for all. It is not for the class.
there is one academic question, and we have academicians. So I choose this question. What is a battery swapping policy? If anybody quickly answer. Yeah.
And I had 1.5 hours of the budget session in the morning itself. So I gone through this battery swapping. Battery swapping strategy is like in place of placing the various charging units. We don't have that many places available to accommodate those many places. We have that battery swapping sort of the EV. Electronic to promote the electronic vehicle, we have started with this. Whatever the manufacturers are asked to prepare for the unique unified batteries for their vehicles, and those batteries are primarily stored into the various charging centers. So in place of wasting your time, you replace it in swapping. You put in your whatever the the batteries which are now require charging. You place in those batteries to be then charging pieces, and you replace it with the charge battery. This is called a battery. I think I hope I have answered this question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Another very interesting question which must be asked out of curiosity, but it get my attention also. Government did touch upon RBI's digital currency that will be in a circulation from next year. What will be its impact on the Indian economy?
ડિજિટલ કરન્સીની વાત આવે એટલે ક્રિપ્ટોકરન્સી બહાર આવે તેમ તરીકે ડિજિટલ કરન્સી અને ક્રિપ્ટોકરન્સી વચ્ચે બહુ મોટો
જે સીધી વસ્તુ લાગે છે જે આપણે પ્રિન્ટિંગ કોસ્ટ થાય છે જે આપણે રૂપીસ પ્રિન્ટ કરીએ છીએ એમાં ઘણા બધું એમાં સેવિંગ કોસ્ટ આપણું કોસ્ટ ચોરી જાય છે એમાં ઘણા બધું સાયકલ વસ્તુ છે આપણે લાસ્ટ નેક્સ્ટ 3-4 યર્સ માં જોઈશું કે આપણી નોટ બનતી બંધ થઈ જશે તો આઈ રિક્વેસ્ટ કે તમારી પાસે 2 રૂપિયા 10 રૂપિયા સાચી રાખો
Black money circulation is also and cost would not be holding the digital currency and every digital currency will be there recorded.
અને કદાચ yes yeah, this was a very pertinent question because we could see that in the last 2020 World Cup also during the match maximum the advertisement was on the cryptocurrency mobile application right? Maximum 4 to 5 must definitely impact the country. Narsibai Parmar je આપણે બીજેવી પ્રોફેસર છે ઇકોનોમિક્સ ના અને એ બજેટ ઇકોનોમિક્સ માં હોય છે એ બજેટ સેશન માં હોય છે માંગે છે એક પ્રશ્ન પૂછવા માંગે છે નરસિંહભાઈને વિનંતી કે પોતાનો પ્રશ્ન રજૂ કરે.
બજેટ ઘણા બધા મુદ્દાઓની one point is left that is the inequality of wealth and income is continuously rising. Is there any provision can you see in this budget that it will reduce or minor reduce? My ask particular. Inequality of wealth and income is continuously rising in India. Is there any provision or allocation of resources that can reduce the inequality of income and wealth?
No, as such, the Gini coefficient in the India is going to be 0.08, and global inequality India stands somewhere 100, and global. So I have not seen any such any strategy being focused in order to reduce the inequality. Other, I could see there is a base provision in terms of reducing the expenditure on rural development, reducing the expenditure on consumer fertilizer, reducing the expenditure on reducing the expenditure on the fertilizer and the oil. So I don't think there is any step taken on this way towards reduction of inequality across the group, across the region, across the gender also. We have the huge inequality in gender as well. So there is a sustainable development goal number 5 talks about empowering women and girls. I think we have not thought this because we have some kind of male dominance is male dominance pardon. We need to work on this inequality among the social group, inequality among them. This is the need to be done in the next what is called next 55 years.
Yeah, thank you for asking the question and giving very apt answer. Yeah, madam.
Hello.
Yeah, thank
you for asking the question and giving very apt answer. Yeah, madam.
Hello. To ask to Mr. Hardik sir, in his talk, he said that privatization are quite helpful. I just remember, is the capital of India, right? Sir, will you please explain me how he said that benefit for us? Because as per my concern, we have example of low tax. So when we are purchasing car, at that time only we are paying road tax, right? It acknowledges itself. Then we paying that toll tax. So how it helps us in itself? So when we are purchasing at that time
privatization કરી દેશો તો શું કરશે રોડનો ટેક્સ પ્રાઇવેટાઇઝેશન નહીં કરી તો પ્રોડક્ટ તો સૌથી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ વસ્તુ એ છે કે તે થઈ રહી છે તમે હું કોઈ પર્ટિક્યુલર સેક્ટર વિશે નહીં બોલું પણ એર ઇન્ડિયાનું હવે ટાટા ઇન્ડિયા થઈ ગયું ટાટાની એરલાઇનમાં બેસતો અને એર ઇન્ડિયામાં બેસતો આપણે તો ચરોતરમાંથી આવીએ તો ઘણા બધા લોકો યુનિવર્સિટી પણ આવતા હતા એટલે પૂછો કે એર ઇન્ડિયા શું હોય તો જ્યાં સુધી આપણે પ્રાઇવેટાઇઝેશન નહીં કરીએ ત્યાં સુધી કરપ્શન નહીં જાય રાજીવ ગાંધી કહેતા હતા કે 100 રૂપિયામાંથી અમુક રૂપિયા તો પ્રાઇવેટ સેક્ટર હશે તો આ નહીં હોય કે 150 કંપની એમાંથી ખાલી 125 કંપની પ્રોફિટ કરે બાકીની બધી કંપની લોસ કરે છે અને ત્યાં જેટલા એમ્પ્લોયીઝ છે એને સેલેરી આપે તો એવું નથી કે બધું પ્રાઇવેટ કરી દો there are sectors healthcare sector છે ત્યાં ગવર્નમેન્ટે રહેવાનું છે એજ્યુકેશન સેક્ટર છે ત્યાં ગવર્નમેન્ટે રહેવાનું છે ડિફેન્સ સેક્ટર છે ત્યાં રહેવાનું છે હોમ મિનિસ્ટ્રી સેક્ટર છે ત્યાં ગવર્નમેન્ટે રહેવાનું છે પણ એવિએશન સેક્ટર ગવર્નમેન્ટની જરૂર નથી ઓઇલ એન્ડ ગેસ સેક્ટર ગવર્નમેન્ટે જેટલું ઝડપથી નીકળી જાય એટલું સારું છે અત્યારે ક્રૂડ ઓઇલનો ભાવ લગભગ $100 ની આજુબાજુમાં પહોંચ્યો આપણા દેશમાં નથી કરતો કારણ શું છે યુપીના ઇલેક્શન 10મી માર્ચ પહેલા ટેન્ક ફ્રી કરાવ્યો પેટ્રોલનો ભાવ વધી ગયો તો આ ઇકોનોમિક જે ગેપ છે એના માટે પ્રાઇવેટાઇઝેશન બહુ જરૂરી છે તો હું એવું નથી કહેતો ટોલ ટેક્સ આટલો બધો હોવો જોઈએ મને પણ થોડું ઠીક લાગે કે ખરાબ પણ લાગે ટોલ ટેક્સ પણ એ નીડો ખબર છે અને જેટલું કરપ્શન ઓછું થશે એટલું આપણા દેશ માટે સારું છે પ્રાઇવેટાઇઝેશન હશે તો એટલું તો ક્લિયર છે ત્યાં કરપ્શન નહીં રહે આપણે આપણે જોયું કે બહુ મોટું એબીસી સિક્યુરિટીનું કરપ્શન બહાર તો આટલી બધી બેંકો પણ ત્યાં કરપ્શનમાં શું થઈ જાય છે અગેન્સ્ટ અમુક સેક્ટરમાં અને ફેવરમાં છું કે બાકીનું બધું ગવર્નમેન્ટ જેમ બને જલ્દી થાય છે આઈ હોપ આઈ આન્સર્ડ યોર ક્વેશ્ચન
partial sir not 100%.
હું થોડું ટ્રાય કરું આમાં કેવું છે મેડમ યુવાનોને જોબ જોઈએ ને તો ગવર્નમેન્ટ જોઈએ છે પણ સર્વિસ તો પછી વોડાફોન ની જ વાપરે
નેટવર્ક અત્યારે આવતું નહીં મારા પાસે પેલા BSNL હતું
બાર સાવ નીકળીને લગાડો એની જ વાત કરે છે એટલે એ ડિબેટ છે જ અને માર્કેટ ફેલ્યોર અને સ્ટેટ ફેલ્યોર ઇકોનોમિક્સ છે અને ખ્યાલ છે આ બંને થિયરી છે પહેલા આપણે સ્ટેટ ફેલ્યોર ની વાત કરતા હતા વ્હાઇટ એલિફન્ટ્સ ને બધી અને પછી માર્કેટ ફેલ્યોર ની પણ દુનિયામાં થિયરી એટલે આઈડિયોલોજી તો બંને છે કેપિટાલિસ્ટ અને સોશિયાલિસ્ટ એટલે અમુક પ્રશ્નો એવા છે કે ધીરે ધીરે આન્સર પડે હા એની અધર ક્વેશ્ચન હા
yes, now Vodafone is incurring the loss and government is over that.
yes ગવર્નમેન્ટ ની કોંગ્રેસ આની સામે જેટ એરવેઝ નો કેસ છે ગવર્નમેન્ટ કેટલા બધા પૈસા નાખ્યા તો પણ એને ઉઘારી નતા શક્યા ધેટ્સ અ ડિફરન્ટ સ્ટોરી એમ્પ્લોયમેન્ટ ને ડાઉનસાઇઝિંગ કરીને લોકોને છૂટા કરી દીધા હતા પણ એક વસ્તુ નક્કી છે કે આ ગવર્નમેન્ટ સેક્ટર યુનિવર્સિટી હોય કે આઈપીસીએલ હોય પછી રિલાયન્સ લઈ લીધું તે નહીં સુધરે તો રતન ટાટા એક વખત રતન ટાટા એના જમશેદપુર પ્લાનમાં એના એક મેનેજરને એમ કહેતા હતા કે if we would have not changed this plant time to time then this plant might become a museum and both of us must be selling the tickets of this museum right એટલે આ બધા મ્યુઝિયમ બની જશે બરાબર આ બધા મ્યુઝિયમ બની જશે જો પછી આમ ટિકિટ લેવી પડશે કે સાહેબ જે કીધું નોટ સાચવી રાખવી પડશે એવા બધા સ્મારક થશે મોટા મોટા જો એ સુધરશે નહીં તો અને કરપ્શન ના બધા પ્રશ્નો તમને ખબર છે આજકાલ રિક્રુટમેન્ટ અને સિલેક્શન પણ ગવર્નમેન્ટ એની વિશ્વસનીયતા સાથે કરી નથી શકતા તમે જો 3rd રાઉન્ડ 4th રાઉન્ડ કેસ થાય જોબ નથી મળતી જોબ છે અને એની પ્રોસેસ આપણે નથી કરી શકતા એટલી હદ થઈ જાય ને આપણે એની વેલિડિટી અને રિલાયબિલિટી નથી રહી એ તકલીફ છે anyone
Just like to add
last 3 questions yeah
just like to add we are sitting in a private organization and that's why we are having a little more freedom to criticize or discuss about the government policy. So I really like to not to compare between those two, but what government has been trying to demonstrate and to a small extent they have stated is a private and public partnership. As sir rightly mentioned, the government should remain at the policy making and in the governing seat or the driving seat of the organization, if the efficiency of the privatization can be achieved, and the government may remain there as a stakeholder, maybe of 50% or more. They may continue to earn their income, but the driving seat also it can be passed on to the privatization. We can get better results like the subdivision of corporation called GB into 5 private limited companies where still the government is the major owner, but the entire show is running in an efficient manner, taking a little more management methodology from the private sector. So this could be a little different, or rather less criticizing, but a constructive view to look at this.
Yes, yes, there is a way. Indian Railway આપણી પાસે એક્ઝામ્પલ છે કે કેટલા બધા ચેન્જીસ એમાં થયા છે. પણ ભારત તો કેવો દેશ છે કે એક એવું ડાયનાસોર્સ છે જેની પૂંછડી 400મી સદીમાં છે અને એનું માથું 22મી સદીમાં છે. એટલે આ ડાયનાસોર્સ ને કેમ મેનેજ કરવું, એટલે બંનેની જરૂર છે. એકદમ એક ઝાટકે આપણે ચેન્જ લાવીશું તો નહીં ચાલે. હા સર, આ તમારો ક્વેશ્ચન.
સર, મારો ક્વેશ્ચન એ છે કે કોર્પોરેટ જે ટેક્સ 18% હતો અને ઘટાડીને 15% આપણે બજેટમાં જોઈ કે સમથિંગ થોડો ઘટાડો થયો સાહેબ. હવે એક વસ્તુ એ છે કે પેલા સરે હમણાં એક વાત કરી કે સ્લેબમાં ઇન્કમ ટેક્સ નો જે સ્લેબ છે યથાવત રીતે રાખે, વિદ્યાર્થીઓ પણ યાદ ન રાખી શકે, બરાબર, કે ચેન્જીસ નથી લાયા. હવે જે મિડલ ક્લાસ છે, જે પુઅર કન્ડિશનના લોકો છે, એમની પાસે એટલે ઇન્કમ નથી કે એ લોકો સ્લેબમાં આવવાના છે. જેને આવક એની ઉપર જાય છે એ લોકોને સ્લેબમાં ફાયદો છે. પણ આ બજેટ જે સામાન્ય જનતા છે એમને શું ફાયદો છે? મહેશ, જરા એક્સપ્લેન કરો.
3 પ્રશ્ન તમે પૂછ્યા. પહેલું 18 થી 15%. તો સાહેબ ઓલ્ટરનેટ મિનિમમ ટેક્સ નો રેટ છે, ઇન્કમ ટેક્સ નો રેટ નથી જે આપણે વાંચ્યું છે. મેં મારા બજેટ સ્પીચમાં ઇન્ક્લુડ નહોતું કર્યું કારણ કે ઇટ્સ અ વેરી માઇક્રો ડિટેલિંગ. જ્યારે કંપનીને લોસ થાય અથવા બીજી કોઈ કંપની અધર ધેન કંપનીને લોસ થાય, કંપનીઓને લોસ થાય ત્યારે પણ એને મિનિમમ ઓલ્ટરનેટ ટેક્સ ભરવો પડે. જે તમે કહ્યું એનો આન્સર એમાં છે કે ભલે કંપનીને લોસ થયો તો પણ એને 18% એના બુક પ્રોફિટ, કરેક્ટ, પ્રોફિટમાંથી બુક પ્રોફિટ કે લોસમાંથી બુક પ્રોફિટ ગણવાની પદ્ધતિ છે, એના ઉપર ભરવું પડે. નોન કોર્પોરેટ અને કોઓપરેટિવ પર આ ઓલ્ટરનેટ મિનિમમ ટેક્સ નો રેટ 18% હતો અને કોર્પોરેટમાં 15% છે. તો એ બેની વચ્ચે સામ્યતા લાવવા એને 15% કર્યું. એમાં હું કે તમે કોઈ જગ્યાએ અફેક્ટેડ નથી, નોટ ધ ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ પીપલ. હવે બીજી વાત આવી કે સ્લેબ રેટમાં ઘટાડો કે વધારો નથી થયો, જેની ઇટ્સ અ પ્રોગ્રેસિવ સ્ટેપ. જેમ ઇન્કમ વધશે એ પ્રમાણે જ રેટ વધશે. મેં 37% સરચાર્જની વાત કરી તો એને જ લાગતો હતો જેને 5 કરોડનો ગેઇન થતો. મને કે તમને નહીં કે જે એલઆઈસી નો શેર લઈને સાહેબે કહ્યું 300 રૂપિયા નફે નીકળી જાય. એ લોકો પર વેલ્થ ટેક્સ કાઢ્યો તો એની સામે એ લોકો મોટો સરચાર્જ લઈ આવ્યા. એટલે એ એનું ટેકનિકલ ઇન્ટરપ્રિટેશન થયું. આપના બીજા પ્રશ્ન અને ત્રીજો પ્રશ્ન મધ્યમ વર્ગને શું મળ્યું, ધેટ્સ ધ પર્સનલ ક્વેશ્ચન. મારું એક્સપેક્ટેશન શું હતું અને મને શું મળ્યું, એક પર્ટિક્યુલર ટેક્સ રેટને લગતું કોઈ આ વસ્તુ પૂછવા માંગો તો હું તમને કહીશ.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Last 2 questions. After that, I have to take permission of Nirav sir after 2 questions.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I don't know my question is valid or not, but due to my inquisitiveness, I'm asking to the Dr. SS Kalamkar, sir. Sir, can you please know that what are the key steps taken for the profitability of agriculture?
So far, the budget is concerned, the only one declaration which Honorable Finance Minister has made a mention about is regarding the procurement of paddy and wheat, so benefiting the 1.63 lakh farmers in India. And other things which has been supported like startup with the supports of NABARD, the National Agriculture Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Otherwise, there is the market problem which you and me are aware of, withdrawing the free tax by the government. In a nutshell, it would be to see that how these steps of the government is going to support the farmer. However, I am not convinced with the steps which you have been asked me about how it is going to be support the farmers and the profitability of the agriculture, which is not being attended very exclusively. That is my opinion.
Sir, the last question.
ના એક આમાં કેવું છે કે સાહેબ પાછા એકેડેમિક છે એટલે એને ખબર ના હોય નહીં તો ખેડૂતોને ફાયદો શું થયો છે કે પછી ઓલું ડ્રોન છે ને એનાથી ઓલી દવા છાંટવામાં આવશે એવું ન્યૂઝપેપરમાં મોટો ફોટો હતો हाँ आज लास्ट हाँ मतलब वही हाँ लास्ट क्वेश्चन
This question is for all the panelist members. Sir, India is an emerging economy among us, the growing economy among us, the emerging economies. So, which sector you are considering as a driving force as a Indian emerging economy?
Yeah, one sector I think it is not fair. So I should ask at least please tell three sectors very quickly, rapid fire. એટલે શું કે આશીષભાઈને જોબ બતાવ્યું હોય તો કામ આવે
Right. So far as that service dominant economy we have, and some sunrise industries are now going to be focused. IT and IT based, I think AI and all other driving force and data driven.
IT enabled service core service હજુ આ બધું આપણે નથી આપતા
I go for healthcare and financial services. This will be the major sector to look at. Share લેવામાં હોય તો પણ આ બે sector
See, when we talk about fintech, when we talk about technology, we talk about competing with Apple and Microsoft. But yes, there was no technology or no technology startups. That's why we talk about them. What have been our core strength? The people, place for production, and driving force for the production. So fintech, if we start, we would be doing the job work for the US market. But when we start something of manufacturing, of innovation into the agriculture, I think we will be able to have something of our very own. So fintech is a buzzword, definitely is going to be there. But in નવી વસ્તુ લેવા માટે basic વસ્તુ કે જેના ઉપર production જે core business રહ્યો છે એની productivity પર થોડું વધારે ધ્યાન આપીએ. So that is again going to be a focused sector. સાહેબે શેરની વાત કરી તો હું પણ નક્કી નથી શકતો એક જ વસ્તુ કે જે સર્વિસ સેક્ટર માટે કે જે બેંકમાં એફડી કરી છે એનો શેર લઈ લો. Definitely it's going to be there on the charts.
થેન્ક યુ આમ તો મારું ટ્રેડિશનલ વિઝડમ એવું કહે છે કે ભણતર ચણતર જન્મ અને મૃત્યુ સાથે જોડાયેલ બિઝનેસ છે સૌથી વધારે ચાલે અને ફૂડ ની એટલા માટે ચિંતા નથી કે ભારતમાં એવી ફિલોસોફી છે કે ભગવાન ભૂખ્યો ઉઠાડે છે પણ સુવાડતો નથી એટલે આમ બી સૌરાષ્ટ્રમાં ફરતા હોય તો ઘણા બધા સદાવ્રત ચાલતા હોય પંજાબમાં જાવ તો લંગર ચાલતા હોય એટલે આ દેશમાં ભૂખની આમ કોઈને ચિંતા નથી એટલા માટે કદાચ આપણે એ સેક્ટરને ખૂબ લાઇટલી લઈએ છીએ. But this was on a lighter note, but otherwise this was a very wonderful day, right? And we got a lot of inputs and thought-provoking ideas from the entire session. And the credit goes to Ashish bhai, Nirav bhai, and Sheetal sir and Girish sir and the entire team of Sardar Patel Education Campus. So thank you very much, and over to the organizer. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Indeed, it was a fruitful session for all of us, with the kind of inputs made by our panel members and the discussion that followed. I'm sure everyone in the audience must have got comprehensive understanding of Budget 2022. And I thank all the panel members for their expert opinions and views.
sure everyone in the audience.
Now, may I take this opportunity to felicitate our panel members with a token of love and respect. May I request the Director of Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, Dr. Nirav Trivedi, sir, to do the honor. Sir, could you please come forward? I request Dr. Nirav Trivedi, sir, and I felicitate the Hari, sir, with the moment. for the expert opinion. Now, take up at Director of Sardar College Station and Please, Dr. Sir, I request you to felicitate Dr. S.S. Kalamkar sir. Kalamkar sir. Madam. Sir, could you please felicitate Shri Hardik Joshi sir with a moment? Sir, I request you again to felicitate Jariwala sir with a moment. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, Raju Rathore sir, Angad હવે પેલું પી ખાય છે. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, Raju Rathore sir. I request Dr. Veera Trivedi sir. Raju Rathore sir. Sir, I beg your pardon, but that was out of respect. I mean, we are closely associated with, so you know, I hope you understand, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to hear from you. I invite everyone and anyone from the audience to share your experience and feedback of this conclave with us. Your feedback is very precious for us and will certainly help us develop further. Your experience and in feedback. I'm not regarding the budget. As Ma'am Kothari sir said, કે ભાઈ બજેટ રિલેટેડ કોઈ પ્રશ્ન ફરી ના આવે તો સારું. પણ જસ્ટ તમે આજે આવ્યા છો અને અમને ખૂબ ગમ્યું છે. જો તમે કંઈ બે શબ્દો આ કોન્ક્લેવ અને ઓવરઓલ પ્રોગ્રામ વિશે બોલવા માંગો તો યો પ્લીઝ. યસ, આઈ વેલકમ નરસિંહ સર. નમસ્કાર. સરદાર પટેલ એજ્યુકેશન ટ્રસ્ટ કેમ્પસ દ્વારા જે આજે આયોજન થયું છે, આવા બજેટ પછી ઓછામાં ઓછા આણંદ વિદ્યાનગરમાં 3-4 જગ્યાએ જો આયોજન થતા હોય તો જે લર્નિંગ કોમ્યુનિટી જે છે, સ્ટુડન્ટ કોમ્યુનિટી અને ટીચર્સ કોમ્યુનિટી જે છે, એની બજેટ વિશેની જે સમજણ જે છે એ વધે છે. હજુ તો ઘણા બધા આસ્પેક્ટ એવા છે કે અનટચ્ડ રહી ગયા છે, ચર્ચા કર્યા સિવાયના રહી ગયા છે. બજેટ જે છે એની આખી એક બંધારણીય જોગવાઈ હોય છે, કાનૂની જોગવાઈ હોય છે, જેને આપણે બજેટ બિલ કહીએ છીએ. એનું એક પ્રોવિઝન છે કે બજેટ એ લોકસભામાં રજૂ થાય છે, પછી એ રાજ્યસભામાં જાય છે. આ મની બિલ એક એવું છે કે રાજ્યસભા એને પાછું મોકલી શકતી નથી. કોઈ પણ બિલ લોકસભાએ પસાર કરી હોય, રાજ્યસભા એને રિટર્ન કરી શકે કે આના ઉપર રીથિંકિંગ કરો. પણ એક મની બિલ જ એવું છે કે રાજ્યસભા એની પર ડિસ્કસ કરે પણ રિટર્ન નહીં કરી શકે. એ પછી ચર્ચા પછી રાષ્ટ્રપતિ પાસે જાય, સહી થાય અને પછી મની બિલ પાસ થાય છે અને પછી જ ભારત સરકાર ખર્ચ કરી શકે છે. એટલે આનો એક આખો બંધારણીય આસ્પેક્ટ ઉપર પણ ચર્ચા થઈ શકે. બીજું જે સરકાર છે એની આ તો માત્ર આર્થિક નીતિઓ છે, પણ આર્થિક નીતિઓની અંદર પણ એની સામાજિક નીતિઓનું પ્રતિબિંબ પડતું હોય છે અને સાંસ્કૃતિક નીતિઓનું પણ પ્રતિબંધ પડતું હોય છે. તમે શું ખાવાના છો, કેટલું ખાવાના છો, શું પહેરવાના છો, કેવું રહેવાના છો અને શું શીખવાના છો. સરકારની જે નીતિઓ છે એ નીતિઓના અમલીકરણ માટેનું જે ફંડિંગ પ્રોવિઝન જે છે, સરકારે ફંડ કાપે છે કે વધારે છે, એમાં સરકારના ઈરાદાઓ રિફ્લેક્ટ થતા હોય છે. એટલે એની એક પોલિટિકલ સાઇઝ પણ છે, એનું એક સામાજિક પાસું છે, એનું એક સાંસ્કૃતિક પાસું છે. એટલે બજેટ વ્યાપક રૂપે આખા ભારતને બદલવાની એક નાનકડી કોશિશ ફિનાન્સ મિનિસ્ટરના માધ્યમથી થતી હોય છે. અને આ જે કેમ્પસમાં જે આયોજન કર્યું છે એનાથી ખરેખર મને ખૂબ આનંદ થયો છે
આયોજકોનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર અને ધન્યવાદ આપું છું.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging words. May I now request Margi Mehta, madam, to say a few words? As she has, yes, madam, you can do the honor from there. As she has expressed a desire to give feedback.
Uh, Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. And I thank the management of Sardar Patel Education Campus, especially Dr. Ashish Vora, for giving me this opportunity to be here in between all these experts that are present here. Uh, as far as the management and organization of this event is concerned, I'm sincerely impressed with the efforts of the team of SPEC, and I look forward to being a part of other events in this campus as well. So good luck to the team and thank you.
Thank you, madam. Yes, sir.
તિરુપતિ ટ્રસ્ટ તિરુપતિ એજ્યુકેશન ટ્રસ્ટ સંચાલિત સ્પેક કેમ્પસમાં આજનું જે બજેટ મંથન 2022 તો અહીંયા આપણે જોયું કે કુદરતી એક સાનિધ્યમાં અને સ્પેક કેમ્પસ હું અહીંયા એક વીક પહેલા પણ સમથિંગ અરાઉન્ડ એક પ્રોગ્રામમાં ડોક્ટર નીરવ ત્રિવેદી સરે મને ઇન્વાઇટ કર્યો હતો. તો અહીંયા એક વસ્તુ મેં જોઈ છે કે આટલું બધું જે પ્લાનિંગ તમે જોઈ શકો કે એકલા વ્યક્તિનો એક કામ નથી. એનું હાર્ડ વર્કિંગ સ્ટાફ ડોક્ટર નીરવ ત્રિવેદી સરની જે એક અંદરથી જે ઉત્સુકતા દેખાય છે. આણંદ વિદ્યાનગરની અંદર તમે જુઓ તો ઘણી બધી કોલેજીસ છે, પણ શું દરેક જગ્યા પર આ કાર્યક્રમ થયો છે ખરો? એક પ્રશ્ન છે. તો તમે જોઈ શકો છો અને એમના ખાસ કરીને સેક્રેટરી શીતલ સર, એમના માટે હું એવું કહી શકું કે ગમે તે થાઓ પણ નીતની ફરજ બજાવો. કે બીજી શેડ્યુલમાં પણ એ દરેક કાર્યક્રમમાં એક સાથ સહકાર આપે છે અને દરેક કાર્યક્રમને સફળ બનાવવા માટે એમની એક સક્રિયતા હોય છે. આપણે સરસ જે ડાયસ પર અત્યારે બેઠા છે આરામથી, તેની પાછળ કેટલા બધા લોકો આની અંદર પરસેવો પોતે વેડાવ્યું છે. એમનો સમગ્ર સ્ટાફ તમે જોઈ શકો છો કે હાર્ટલી વેલકમ કરે છે. તેની પાછળ એમણે આપણે તો 2 કલાક અહીંયા સમથિંગ અરાઉન્ડ 5 થી 8:15 સુધી આપણે રોકાયા છે, પણ એ પહેલા 2 દિવસ કે 3 દિવસ પહેલા બિફોર એમણે કેટલું બધું પ્લાનિંગ કર્યું હશે, ત્યારે આ કાર્યક્રમ અહીંયા શક્ય થયો છે. તો અહીંયા અમારી આપ સૌની અહીંયા શુભેચ્છાઓ છે કે આપ સૌ આવા ટીમ વર્કથી આગળ ને આગળ આવી ઉત્તરે ઉત્તર આ પ્રગતિ કરો અને અહીંના જે વિદ્યાર્થીઓ જે ભણે છે એમની અંદર પણ ખાલી એજ્યુકેશન નહીં, પણ એક વિશ્વની અંદર જે આપણે અહીંયા વાત કરી કે આપણે આગળ ઇન્ડિયા ડિજિટલ ઇન્ડિયા તરફ પ્રયાણ કરી રહ્યા છે, તો આ સ્પેકનો વિદ્યાર્થી વિશ્વ ફલક પર જાય અને ત્યાં આગળ પણ ઝળકે એવી અહીંયા અમારી સૌની શુભેચ્છાઓ છે. અને સરસ મજાનો આ કાર્યક્રમ કરવા બદલ આપ સૌને હું અને અહીંયા આવેલા અમારા તમામ વતી દિલથી શુભેચ્છાઓ પાઠવું છું અને આપ આગળ ને આગળ સક્રિય બનો. એટલા માટે અંતમાં લાસ્ટમાં હું એટલું જ કહીશ કે ગયો તો હું ચમનમાં ત્યાં ખીલેલું પુષ્પ મેં જોયું, ગયો તો હું ચમનમાં ત્યાં ખીલેલું પુષ્પ મેં જોયું, કરેલી જેની કલ્પના એ નૂર મેં જોયું, તલસતા નયન એ પુષ્પ ચૂંટવાને, તલસતા નયન એ પુષ્પ ચૂંટવાને, કારણ કે પુષ્પમાં આ સ્પેક કેમ્પસનું નૂર મેં જોયું, કારણ કે પુષ્પમાં આ સ્પેક કેમ્પસનું નૂર મેં જોયું. થેન્ક્સ અ લોટ.
Thank you very much, sir. Shall I wait for some other feedback, or I think we should move further now with the program. And now may I now request Conclave coordinator Dr. Ashish Vora sir to offer vote of thanks.
indeed very rightly said that by a poet who could recon the real worth of playing host and serving a large gathering of exponents of diverse ideas and opinions. A very good evening to the assembly of dignitaries, distinguished guests, illuminating fountainheads of idea-worthy members, most prized delegates and valued audience. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful event. On behalf of the Sardar Patel College of Administration and Management, I take the opportunity to put all my gratitude into the words. At the beginning, we are thankful to our Honorable Founder Chairman Sri Girish Patel Sir and Founder Secretary Sri Sital Patel Sir for their motivation, guidance and constant support. They always graced us. Without their agreement, this entire event could not have been possible. Thank you, sirs. I want to extend my generous and heartfelt thanks to our esteemed guest speakers, Sri Dr. S.S. Kalankar sir, CA Nayan Kothari sir, Hardik Joshi sir, Dr. Raju Rathod sir, and Dr. Vijay Jariwala sir. All the panelist members, in a very short notice, you all have accepted our invitations, and today you all are with us. Thank you, sirs. You all are so humble. And personally, I so many times I disturbed Raju sir and Jariwala sir for the event, and they never ever all the time, in spite of the busy schedule, they never made me. I mean, in embarrassing situation that he's always busy. So I'm personally I'm very thankful to all the panelists. Sir, we must mention our deep sense of appreciation of your explanation of speech of allocated theme. I would like to thank you, our director Nirav Trivedi sir, for his enthusiastic support. The first time this idea of conclave event came in his mind, and he gave proper execution of this event with the hard work, sincerity, dedication, transparency, and loyalty. In a way, he converted this event into the reality. Sir, a very big thank you. I thank our family members, like faculty members, administration staff, and non-teaching staff for their leading supervision, cooperations, and inspiration at every point of time in this event. Last but not least, how can I imagine this event without our students, volunteers? Thank you, my dear students. Jai Hind.
On behalf of the college, Ashish sir, I thank you personally for coordinating this beautiful conclave. Before we stand to respect, to honor national anthem, I want to make one announcement that after national anthem, a delicious food is waiting for us. Please dine with us after this national anthem and make this evening more beautiful. May I request everyone to stand in honor of our national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
ફરી એક વાર આપણે બધાને રિક્વેસ્ટ કરું કે આપણે ડિનર તરફ આગળ વધીએ અને જે લોકો ડિનર કર્યા વગર જવા ઈચ્છતા હોય એમને બજેટ ઉપર 5 પ્રશ્નોના જવાબ આપવા પડશે તો એના કરતા